Part 1 of episode 105 of the Wilderness Podcast is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. Our supporter of the week is Ren Geyser. We're also brought to you by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/wild for a free trial. Welcome to episode 105 of the Wilderness Podcast. I am your host, Dills, and with me is Deegan.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Wow, what a crazy week this one was. We have a lot to discuss, and I'm sure most of you guys are aware of that. So, first things first, we have some news on the old school RuneScape and RuneScape 3 Wiki being moved from the Fandom website to their own standalone website. And, of course, the biggest news, we had Runefest this weekend, and they dropped a ton of information on us. They had a charity auction, and they revealed all of their plans for the upcoming year, and there are some big updates coming out. Pretty excited to talk about them, but we won't dive into that now. We'll wait for that. But that is not all that happened at Runefest. Of course, some drama went on. There seemed to be a little bit of, I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. Runefest brings out the little amount of testosterone that scapers have, you know? They get like a little bit of that caveman mentality once a year. It's like the purge, but
Yeah.
like, so just being like a normal person, they just like kind of go all out.
Yeah, I guess so. Once the whole group gets together, and you can't sit there skilling, so you need an outlet.
Nice EHP, idiot. And then hands start going, you know?
Ballistic.
Mice start getting flung.
Anyways, that is not all that happened. We also got I was going to say release, but we got to see what the Master Clue Scroll reward is actually going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Not the jokes that they half pulled before. But, as always, there's some quality of life thrown into that devblog as well. Anyways, let's not diddy-daddle on what's coming up. Let's just get right into it. Deegan, how was your week?
How do I say this? Pretty uneventful. With a realization.
What do you mean?
I get epiphany? Maybe not. I don't know. So, I did rune crafting.
Okay.
Yeah, I did some blood rune crafting.
What level are you at right now?
I think 86. I haven't played in a couple days. It's either I immediately fall asleep when I get home, or I play Beat Saber.
Ooh, Beat
I've
Saber.
been playing a lot of that, but
Good game.
I think I'm at 86 rune crafting, so I'm slowly getting to my 91 goal. Yeah, but so while I'm rune crafting, someone in the CC was like, "Yo, Deegan, you should go on the Obby Mauler, give him a bond. I have an Obby Mauler. Let's go kill some black chins." And I was like, "You're black chin hunters." You're like, "Yeah, that could be fun, but I don't really want to." And whatever. So I was talking with him, and he was talking about how he's on Fossil Island, training his Obby Mauler, and that was, I think I mentioned in the past, where I had gotten to a point in my account where I couldn't do Fossil Island because so the typical approach for like skillers and stuff and pures, if you're trying to get to Fossil Island, the first thing you want to do on the account is do observatory quest because there's a bunch of rewards, but there's I don't know the percentages. I want to say it's like a 13% chance that you either get like attack or, well, like for Obby Mauler specifically, attack or defense experience.
That's right. It's a randomized, because it's based on the constellation or something, right?
So you can get anything from so if you're a skiller, the main thing is you can get like antidotes, coins, you can get random stuff, but there's also a chance to get HP, strength, attack, or defense. So I don't want to waste 100 hours, roll the dice, get like attack or defense, and be like, oh, cool, time to do Death Plateau and Soul's Bane, have to do these other quests, try and fix the account and make it a niche account with these. Soul's Bane is for the Varrock Medium Diary, but that's like the only thing gating you from getting it if you're pure, which gives you 5 defense. Doesn't matter. I'm rambling, but so I just didn't do it.
So you say you do observatory quest first, just in case you get defense experience, and then you don't have to waste any more time. You can just quit and start a new one.
Yeah, but I actually don't have the list of quests and things I've done, but on my account, I found out by I was talking to the guy, and he was like, dude, you're fine, but he did observatory quests and didn't even know, almost made it almost ruined his account, but he got, lucky, so that's pretty good. But he was saying all this stuff. I'm like, man, there's gotta, because the thing is, I was at 98 kudos, and you need 100 kudos to get into Fossil Island.
Right.
If you didn't know that. And there's ways of getting kudos, like doing the Varrock Museum quiz. There's a bunch of quests you will do, and you can turn in for, like, you give them, like, information about certain quest items you get, and you get kudos from that. There's the fossil cleaning, and there's all that stuff. So I was at 98, and I'm like, shit, I have to do observatory. The main thing with if you get into Fossil Island as an obby mauler, you pretty much, the thing is, the big pull to it is that you AFK train your strength. You don't have to get any range levels, because you AFK train strength on those anomaly crabs, those ammonites, whatever. You turn in the fossils, and you can get like 150k experience or some shit for anything, right? In lamps.
Right. So that's why you want to get on the Fossil Island, is for the lamps?
Yeah. So you like have zero, like it's 0 times Slayer experience, right? You get 150k, get really close to 55. But the way you would do it before Fossil Island is that you would just cannon your tasks, which kind of sucks, because if you're just like a 1 defense, 1 strength, 1 prayer, or 1 defense, 1 attack, 1 prayer, obby mauler like I am, you cap out at I believe 66 or 67 range and mage, because that, you won't go over, you won't graze a combat level at max 99 HP and strength. So like obviously if you don't have to spend any range experience, that gives you more attempts at getting a fire cape, because you're technically limited. And if you want to get like KBD pets and stuff, like KBD, or any pet in general, you're limited on how much you know what I mean?
You can range, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And so the reason, correct me if I'm wrong, but the reason you want Slayer is for the Slayer staff.
Yep.
Because that has like pretty high attack stats.
I don't know what the equivalent is, but it's good, and it's as fast as a whip, and the speed and the accuracy and the like how hard you can hit. You can also, 1 tick into like an obby mauler if you're obby maul if you wanted. Or, you can just use the event RPG.
Right, and you don't need any attack levels for the staff.
Yeah, exactly. It's like technically, and it's the best for training and stuff, right? Anyways, I was looking at my account and like, there's gotta be a way I can get 2 fucking kudos points. I've done all fossil cleaning. I've done like everything I could, and I was going through my quest line, and this is how dumb I am. I never handed in Shield of Arav, which is one of the quests you get, and I swore to God I thought I turned it in. I didn't, and I just thought I did. So now I got over the amount of like 104, maybe 104 kudos points. So I'm able to like train there. It's kind of useless, but you can just throw the experience on a strength. So I guess it saves a couple hours, and it's less crowded, and it's more experience per hour.
Sure,
and it's cheaper. There's just a lot of benefits to it.
So you got the Fossil Island?
Yeah, I'm on Fossil Island.
Back to training the obby mauler. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I haven't really been playing that much, though. That's the thing, and I kind of, like, wasted a bond. And I have this really bad habit, bonding an account and, like, giving it, like, a Fury, Zerker, or Archer rings, depending on what account it is, just loading it up, and then it gets deactivated. Mm-hmm. And then I have to spend, like, 3 mil to get, like, 8 mil back, but it's still, like...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like my other peer, I have, like... 10 mil worth of members items like Furies and shit just sitting on the account, and a bunch of supplies to do my fire cape. But yeah, so I'm gonna like go back and start training that account. And me being an idiot, I thought I was 100% fully quested on that account, but then I realized I never finished off getting myth gloves because my membership ran out. So I have to go back and like do RFD.
You need defense levels for the granite gloves?
Yeah, you need 50, I believe.
Okay.
And like combat bracelets are like pretty much the same, but like I only need to get the myth gloves. I need to do those RFD quests for the myth gloves, and then I'm done, 100% done questing, diaries, everything for the mauler. After that, it's just get 75 HP and give that boy a amulet of torture. Then I'm like pretty much done. And I guess I could spend like 75 hours imbuing a berserker and a treasonous ring.
True.
But I'm not doing that because that's fucking stupid.
It's mental.
The way I'd have to do it is bring in my main account.
Oh, and do like a group thing. Yeah.
And use heal other and shit on them.
God.
Just to minimize the amount of mage experience I would have to get on them. Like, it's awful. Like, it's some of the shit you have to do as an obby mauler to get like some of this. It's the worst. But like, it does help a lot for training. Seeing I have to spend like hundreds and hundreds of hours to train. Anyways, that's pretty much it. I'm probably missing something. I did some I don't know if I talked about it, I was killing some Iron Man.
What?
I was griefing some Iron Man with my buddies, because, like...
Oh, you monster.
I have this, like, one buddy who plays RS pretty casually, and when I say casually, I mean he, like, logs onto RuneScape to have fun.
Yeah.
Where, like, he'll say, like, Deegan, I don't know what to do. And I'll be like, here's 20 quests, and here's all the things you can do. And then he goes, like, I'm gonna kill some Iron Man. And he, like, sent me that message, and I was like, what do you mean? So then he tells me of this method. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. And some of you Iron Men might hate me, but so... So there's a method of getting sand buckets, and this is what he told me. And yeah, there's a method of getting sand buckets that Iron Men do, and it starts off with you set your house to Yanil, you go to a PvP world, and you have a lot of buckets, and then you have a teleport to Camelot, sorry. And so you're in a PvP world because you teleport to Camelot, and there's like in that teleport spot outside the castle, there's a bank there. Mm-hmm. So the method is that you teleport to your house, you step out of the portal, there's a sand pit right behind the Yanil home portal, you fill up your sand buckets, you teleport to Camelot, bank, rinse, repeat.
Right. People do that when they're training construction as well. Because, yeah, as you said, you can teleport to Camelot. There's the chest, right? It's like the closest chest, right?
Yep.
Maybe crafting guild with maxed crafting.
Yeah, but if
better.
you're like, no one, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no one's, exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's very common. And so, me, him, and a couple of his buddies, we just, like, jump in Discord, and, like, we're all, like, differing levels. So if there was an Iron Man getting sand buckets, one of us would be able to kill them.
Okay.
And it turned into this really fun game where, like, we'd all log on, they'd start raging and dropping N-bombs like fucking Nagasaki. Bigger than Nagasaki, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. They turn into PK or just...
Dude, like, super, like, they're trying so hard to be, like, offensive, and they say some fucked up shit, and we're just in Discord laughing, because, like, yo, level 120, Deegan, go. And I would just, like, log in and, like, quote-unquote, max strength, like Zerker gear, I'm not gonna bring bandos, but then, like, just spec the fuck out of someone, watch them die, and you get, like, 80 laws, and you're like, ha! And then, like, everyone talks shit, and they would teleport back immediately, and they'd start, like, flaming you and calling you all these, like, racial slurs and shit, offensive. They'd be big meanies. But we'd be able to, like, log on and attack, like, any Iron Man just because, like, the level differentiations. And it was actually, like, a lot of fun to just do that for, like, an hour. Just doing something just for fun. Like, not really, like, yeah, I guess being an asshole.
Rough. But at what cost?
At what cost? One guy brought his main in that brought max gear. I forget what my buddy called it, but he called like a door zone, or I don't know. He there's like a building near the portals that we'd immediately run to, and then when they run to you, you open up the door because you close it behind you, and it fucks their pathing up, and you can sit there and open and close it. And they just, like, get stuck behind a fence, and they can't attack you, like, they can't path to you. And so, like, you can just, like, fuck around super hard, and there's, like, guys logging in, like, max gear, like, risking, like, a solid, like, 300 mil, like, ancestral and shit. You know, like, anything, like, and they just, like, try and kill you just to, like, kind of, like, leave their Iron Man alone.
Damn.
It was mean, but, like, yo, boys, you guys gotta try that out. It's actually so fun.
We do not condone.
I do. I totally condone it. As long as you only do it for a little bit and then you just leave. But you leave saying, holy shit, that guy had 3k law runes.
Actually.
No, but you just say that just because then they're like, no.
Then you can justify it. I know there's a few times where I go PKing at Edgeville and I'm taking out rune crafters and people would rage because it's like, a glory's 15k now? So it's nothing if you kill them. But one time I killed someone, he had like 4k cosmic runes on him and he's like, man, you're pathetic. Are you having fun? That's so sad. You can't even PK. That's why you're killing me. And I'm like, dude, you had 4k cosmics on you. Yeah, I was too lazy to bank them.
You didn't click bank all, and then you don't have bank fillers? Come on, dude. Skill, like, come on, learn how to skill.
So that's the thing. Like, I can kind of understand why a PKer might kill someone who has just a spade on him doing clue scrolls. I had that experience where I saw someone doing a clue scroll and I killed him and he had like 3 mil cash on him. Yeah, in the legacy episodes of this podcast, on my very first pure, there's actually, you can probably go in the archives of our Discord server and see screenshots of me killing some random dude killing black demons. Right.
in the Edgeville thing. And the guy had like 2 point something mil cash. He had like thousands of runes. It was like a 3-4 mil PK I got off of him.
I think I might have the pictures still because I did put them on the Facebook. This is before I realized that Facebook pages and Facebook groups were two different things, and that Facebook page kind of sucks, but irrelevant.
But I honestly was just killing those Iron Men just for fun. Just to get on Discord with some people and just like shoot the shit and laugh.
Well, you need a break from the grind sometimes, right?
Yeah, blood runes fucking kill me. This shit's so boring. Anyways, what'd you do this week?
Well, it's been a fucking crazy week for me. So we won't go too far into it, but I'll let you guys know because, yeah, whatever. I haven't been on RuneScape too much this week, but earlier last week, I think it was before I even released the podcast, but kind of caught my girlfriend seeing another guy on the side. So yeah, we split up, and so there's a few days where it was pretty rough for me. You know, we were together for 6 years, and we lived in the same house and stuff, and it was it was pretty rough. So yeah, I kind of just didn't go on RuneScape too much and was just trying to keep busy and all that fun stuff. And then also worked at the same job that she worked at, so I had to quit there.
Yep.
So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
And I guess now that you left, we're in the same department.
Yeah.
I have so much power. I can actually probably like they're like, Deegan, you can't leave, man. Like one of my coworkers is like, we need you so bad. The manager's really worried that you're gonna quit. And like everyone's being so nice to me. It's like if I can ask for a raise.
God. Yeah, probably. Yeah, they seem to be panicking a bit, but yeah, when I quit, they were pretty understanding, and yeah, I kind of came on the clan chat after a few days and kind of told some people what's up, and a lot of nice people in there they'll be there for you to help you get through some shit. So if you're ever going through a rough time, reach out to some of the people in the clan chat and the Discords, because a lot of very supportive people there, and I really do appreciate it. But anyways, yeah, that's all that fun stuff going on. Basically, what I'm saying is I got a lot more time for RuneScape now. So that's the takeaway from all of this.
Next episode. Yeah, so I just maxed.
Yeah.
Haven't slept in I don't even know.
But anyways, as far as what I did on Rune... Did I talk last week about me getting Rigger? I might have. Sold some items and I got Rigger, because that's what I was saving up for. Yeah, I mean, it's... When I remember to use it, it's a game changer, but I'm so used to... You know what I mean? Like What's the
muscle memory?
Muscle memory. I'm always clicking on Hawkeye or Eagle Eye, whatever one it is.
Hope it's not Hawkeye.
Is that the shittier one?
Yeah.
Okay, so then it's Eagle Eye. But yeah, just doing some raids when I was on, and some fletching as well. I'm at 97, pretty close to 98. So I'll have that probably next couple days, depending on how much I play.
Yeah.
But yeah, so not too much RuneScape. Joined a gym too. Started going to the gym. That's one of the first tips they tell you. It's one of the first tips they tell you when you're going through something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Join the gym and start looking at ways to better yourself. So I'm going to get the gains IRL and the gains in RuneScape.
Yeah.
Maybe both at the same time.
Yeah,
Shit.
with mobile.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Dude, hit the treadmill and hit the agility course.
That would be so stressful.
Can't be bored.
Your touch screen is just drenched with sweat, so you can't even click on anything.
It'll get to a point though where you can aim the sweat drips and it'll do the course for you. And you'll your guy will just start running.
Then you get banned for auto clicking.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't think there's anything more I should be talking about, because we do have a lot to cover.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
All right, so I guess a little bit more to talk about the wiki, or what's going to happen to the old school and the RuneScape wiki partnership.
Yeah, we mentioned it last week because they made a post on Reddit, but now they have a dev blog, and it's actually kind of merged over. And they also had the people who were very involved with the old school RuneScape wiki, like the people who kind of held it all together. They came onto the Q&A this week, and they talked about why they were doing it and all that good stuff, but it was mostly explained in the Reddit post, but you know what I mean? Now this is the official.
Yeah. So why move the wikis? Well, they pretty much just want it to be more of a Jagex resource.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stuff like the fandom resource. And probably because advertisement too, right?
Yeah, that's
They're
it.
probably losing they could be making some money off advertisements on the side.
Or
I'd
they could just
assume.
decide to not have advertisements and keep it as, you know what I mean, a directly Jagex website.
Yeah. I mean, I'd probably put little banners on the side, you know.
All those download buttons.
Yeah.
You open it up and there's just click here, click here,
Sexy
click here.
singles, like, in your area and shit.
Oh, a little chat box pops up being like sexy singles looking for RuneScapers.
Yeah.
Sexy scapers
Mhm.
in your area.
10K.
I had a guy, okay, this is a little off topic. Actually, it's kind of on topic of that. When I was working at construction, there's this older gentleman that I worked with, and he was a little out of the loop with technology, and he was telling me how he was on like a porn site, and how he's like, this girl messaged me on it. He said Facebook, but you know, it looks like Facebook. And she was saying that she said she wanted to like have sex, and she lived very, like, really close. He's like, I couldn't because I was in a relationship, but he's like, honestly, like, that was so it's so easy these days. And I was like in my head, like, oh, you poor soul.
Yeah.
You know you're going to be typing back and falling in love.
It's a bot. There goes your credit card. Anyways. So, does Jagex control this new wiki? No. It's going to be the exact same as the Wikia, the Fandom Wiki. Yeah, they'll provide support, obviously, but we're going to be the ones that do all the heavy lifting.
As
Pretty
always.
Yeah.
You know how we get to send in suggestions for their updates? Now it's the same thing.
Yeah.
With the information.
They also have plans to create multiple language channels for the wiki. I have a feeling the most popular ones will be English, like Spanish.
Venezuelan.
Yeah, Venezuelan.
Spanish, actually. I'm an idiot.
But
Chinese.
Mandarin?
Mandarin.
Well,
Cantonese.
that, or like Finnish, maybe?
Morse code. Sign language.
Braille.
Braille.
All those blind scapers.
You can see they're actually being a braille.
Braille integration. But can we expect in-game integration? We talked about this last episode. We like our ideas if it should be in a baseline integration. And they say that the in-game integration and the wikis in some form is something that we'd love to do. We haven't committed the time to it as a project, but we'd be interested in hearing from players and about what their ideal integration and the wikis would be. Whether it's able to examine an item and get a link to the wiki, use a command in chat to open the wiki. I think they should let third-party clients do that and not let it be based.
I mean, I think third parties will do that. I kind of like the idea of examining something and it brings you to the wiki.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I've just had that experience in like Eve, an MMO I bring up all the time that no one likes, but it turns into this like really shitty thing for like me being a new player in that game where you open up the game, you don't do anything for like an hour because you're just on the wiki looking up like copper ore, tin ore, bronze bar, bronze dagger, you know what I mean? You don't know anything, so you're just like, you spend like the first 98% of like your couple months is actually just on a wiki looking up stuff.
But I feel like that might not necessarily be a bad thing, especially with old school RuneScape, because you have so much downtime in the game that it allows you to explore other things. Like when I play RuneScape 3, I very rarely play it, but when I did, I'd just be browsing around the wiki because there's all these new items. I want to know how I get them. How do I get this new armor? Oh, I got to make it? What's this essence? Where do I get it? It's from a boss. Let me go read up on the boss. Oh, it's from you know what I mean? Like, I found myself just jumping around because I'm kind of just interested, even though I'm nowhere close to that type of level to get the gear and fight the bosses, but I'm curious. And if you're a new player, there's so much in this game that I feel like the time where people just stumbled through the game with like no idea how to do stuff and they learned it as they went, I think those days are kind of over.
I guess it just boils down to what kind of players they want playing their game, or they're trying to like not play what kind of like new players that they want in their game.
I guess the big problem too is if you're on mobile, it's going to open up a whole new screen, right?
Yeah.
You know, like minimize your game, which is a bit different. On the computer, it's not a problem. Mobile, I could see it being a bit of an issue.
Yeah. But I guess if they do want a new player that enjoys like looking up everything on the wiki, or not everything, but like using the wiki a lot alongside while they're playing, then I guess it would be beneficial. But if they don't want that, then obviously it's not. So I guess it kind of depends on like, I feel like this would be something that the community shouldn't push for. It's something that Jagex would have to be like, okay, well, what kind of new players are we trying to bring in?
Yeah.
Or how are we going to try and retain the current players?
Yeah. They would need to look at the data they have.
Yeah. So I feel like this will go to a poll, obviously, at some point, but I feel like it's the one thing that like shouldn't. I feel like it's something that like they really have more information than us.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll move on. So why partner with the wiki?
So over the past decade, RuneScape and Old School Wiki has been the go-to place for in-game guides and information. The Wiki's player base or user base has grown to an extent that it's widely recognized that they are an extension of the game, thereby being used by most players and even Jagex employees. The key strength of the wiki is its dedicated core team and numerous contributors. As any player wishing to contribute and update the wiki can do so, it continually grows and evolves to match in-game content as a living encyclopedia. This makes them the ideal team to extend a hand to and offer our support. While we consider the wikis to be an encyclopedia rather than a fan site, some have asked if this means that we'll be offering support for fan sites in the future. This isn't something that they've done for a few years, and it's not part of the current or future strategy, and this is unlikely to change as the community continues to shift from fan sites towards social media platforms.
I was just going to say, I feel it, again, the age of fan sites, not so much.
No one's, Scythe, was it Scythe that shut down, or Zybez? Zybez shut down. I mean, shit, back in the day, yeah, you would go to tippet.runescape or RuneHQ or Sal's Realm for, anything, right? There's
anything and everything.
Yeah. And now it's Reddit, Wiki, the Fandom Wiki.
Yeah, and they had forums. I told you, I talked about it before, RuneScapeCommunity.net, not around anymore, but I loved that site. The community there was so cool. But this was before it was YouTube wasn't the best for your PK videos, because if they're over 10 minutes... can't watch it. I'd go on that site, download 30-minute videos, and you get really cool PKing videos,
yep.
And you would see posts of people tracking, oh, I'm killing 1,000 Calphite Queens, and these are the drops I'm getting, and they would list them. And it was interesting because the sites didn't have the exact drop rates, and you know what I mean? The items that they all dropped. Tippet would have the items that monsters dropped, but you didn't know the drop chance. You didn't know...
it would say Fire Giants drop Dragon Medium Helms.
Yeah.
And you're like, cool. But then you're like, no, well, technically everything can.
Yeah, and that's what you learn later on. That was a huge... I believed that so hard when I was younger. And I know tons of people did that. They spend weeks killing Fire Giants. I'm still in denial about it.
It's the way she goes. How can you help, though? How can you help this new age of information? Well, both RuneScape Wiki and the old school RuneScape Wiki are edited and maintained by players. And the best way to help is to contribute information and not go and fucking deface the whole wiki like some of you guys have been doing this past week. I open up Rev Caves and I see Futa Neve porn, which is, I'm not going to tell you what it is. Go Google it. It's not safe for work. Futa.
Well, I don't know what that is, so you're going to have to explain.
I think I showed you the picture.
Oh.
That's, I shouldn't know what Futa is, but I've been on the internet too much. I kind of know what it is. It's different. I mean, different strokes for different folks, quite literally. But if you want to look up that, it's something you can learn about.
Yeah, they really
they defaced the hell out of the wiki this week, and we're kind of summing up this wiki because just if you want to help out, contribute
to the new one. But people took that as oh, so screw over the other one.
So the fandom got hit with so much vandalism by everyone that they locked down the fandom, but depending on the current state, some IPs and stuff, at least this is how I think it was, because I would refresh the Revenant caves with that picture of Neve.
Yeah.
But you would go on it and it'd be different, and then you'd show me some pages that were this one, and I'd go on it and so I think there was a save state for everyone at a different point. And then because they had to fix all the just mass vandalism that went on. Some of it was funny as hell, but then some of
it was funny in a very immature and childish way. But there's also you feel bad for people who are I'm starting the game for the first time, and I can finally go to the Revenant Caves, and I'm going to go there, and...
Oh my god. Mom, no, Mom, wait. Yeah. And then, some people made fake pages of, angler gloves and shit like that. They made up, bonus, lumberjack capes and stuff.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to grind out the set, you're I need an extra page. I need, I need an extra piece.
And the problem is, I keep doing it. Most people just Google something with OSRS, and the old wiki is the one that pops up still.
Yeah.
So it's going to take some time for it to flip over. So if you are using the old wiki, try to keep in mind to click the new wiki.
Yeah.
So that your Google searches are going to start recognizing that one's more popular.
Yep. And so Jagex doesn't have to pay Google to have theirs at the top, because
Yeah.
I think it could be pretty costly. Anyways, that's pretty much it. So
I don't know. Have you ever tried to like contribute to a wiki? We might have talked about this in the past.
I have. Honestly, it's normally when I'm doing a quest and I'm using the quick guides. This is the only time I've ever edited it, but it's always for this scenario. I'm doing a quest using the quick guides, and the way it's described, like what I need to do, is a bit confusing. Or I find there's a better way. Sometimes they're like, teleport to Camelot, and then I'm trying to think of an example.
Run to Artie.
It'll say something, not that one exactly, but
Yeah.
it'll say something where you're like, oh, I can just use a glory to teleport there. So, or just the way it's described, it wasn't written too well. So then I would just rewrite it so that it kind of is more clear on what you need to do. And, put in brackets, a glory will teleport you right there. Because sometimes the quest, the item list will say recommended bring a glory, but then the quick guides never once tell you to use that glory. You have to kind of be like, oh, they're saying to go from Falador to Port Sarum to go to Karamja. I think it's pronounced Karamja. I heard that.
Really?
Anyway, yeah, the J is silent. Anyways,
Karamja? I'm just calling it.
Karamja.
Let's just try and like butcher everything even worse than we normally do.
Anyways, but then since you have the knowledge, you're like, well, I don't need to do that. It tells me to bring glory, so I'm just going to use the glory for this. So I'll add that in brackets. The glory will teleport you right there.
Yeah.
You don't need to go to Falador. But the thing is, I don't know if it stays. I do it and I move on. And I never go back to do the quest, so I don't know if it stays or not.
Yeah, there's been some times where like I'll look up the wiki on something, and then you'll be like, that doesn't seem right. So you go and like double check and it's wrong. So you do like a little edit. There's times where I complained, about the whole Vasa thing, and and then I'm like, I want to fix this, but here's the thing: I have to rewrite half this fucking page, and it's gonna get flagged. And depending on who wrote that, might power trip and like undo it. Because I've contributed to wikis in other games before, where like I think I mentioned before, there's one game where there was like a character that I did like the whole wiki page for. It's weird because you do get protective over it. Like I found myself like when I play like that game and like I go to add some more information about something about that character, like someone would like change a bunch of shit, but like they would use it to kind of promote their YouTube channel.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, because like it was like a fighting game, so it's like that's why I'm like, focused on one character, right?
Rising Thunder.
Yeah, specific it's like numbers with damage combos, blah 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 blah. No one cares about that stuff. Yeah, like people would like go and remove my videos and put their like 10-second intro, epic Poner combo video 2, and then it's just like 30 seconds goes by and then they show it and like they just want to promote their shit where it's like yeah. But then they would like change information. I'd be like, let me reword how they, you know what I mean? I don't want people to like feel that way because that's how I felt sometimes. Dude, people like there's a lot of things we don't really realize when it comes to experience rates and stuff. Like people put in work in the wiki. And it's kind of nice that like Jags brought some of these people on, like the major contributors and whatnot, to the Q&A and like sussed it all out, I guess. But hopefully this doesn't like hopefully this encourages more people to like contribute to a wiki.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty neat. I think we talk about that too much. Anyways, we'll move on to some actual updates and whatnot. But the Master Clue reward and the quality of life changes. So the competition reward is a like, you know, Rag and Bone Man, that sack full of like bones and shit.
Yeah,
it's like a different version of that, but there's like scrolls in the backpack of it, and then there's like a little spade on the side.
That's pretty cool.
It looks really nice.
Apparently, the scrolls will move around as you walk.
That's pretty sweet.
Bit of an animation. I do wish that it'd be cool if it gave you the walk animation that you see the Wilderness Cape sellers have, where they're kind of hunched over.
Man, that's a great suggestion. That'd be really cool.
That'd be cool. And like, I mean, they already have that animation, don't they?
That'd be so. Like, think of the Fashionscape potentials. You give them like a Slayer staff, and that's like their cane.
You know
what I mean? Good. Like, you could do a lot. How would that work if you have like an Elder Maul? Do you think that's why they don't do that? Because you could hold an Elder Maul.
Ooh, throwing that back out.
Yeah, or like the barrel chest, you're like kind of taking a dump running with it, and then you have that, so your guy's just like folded into himself, running around.
Combine the two animations. And you also get a beer in your hand where you kind of wobble when you walk. Okay, maybe that's why they're not doing it.
I do think it's really cool. So if you want to know how to get this, it would be after 100 master clues, you would be able to obtain this, and you would talk to Watson. So if you already have 100 master clues done, then you can talk to Watson and he'll give one to you. Or if you lose it in general, you just talk to him and he'll hook you up again.
You will, if you have completed 100 already, your next clue scroll will
Oh,
unlock
sorry.
it.
Yeah. If you lose it, you talk to Master Watson. You're good to go. So that's pretty cool. I do like how it's not an equipped item. Like I don't like how like what they had like the chest and then like the spade. How they're just like equipped items.
Yeah.
Like weapon.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
like
weapon
their
slots.
hand slots, weapon
So now
slots.
you can have 2 clue scroll items, because...
I feel like they should maybe rework some of them to have like you can have a full setup of like clue hunting, or you know what I mean?
It would be cool, but we saw the suggestions for the master clue. I don't know how... Like, so there's the chest that you hold when you're walking, and then there's the clue scroll that you have, like, you're reading it as you're walking.
Yeah.
They're both very cool looking. That's the thing. Like, they're both good ideas.
Yeah.
Hard to just get rid of them. And the other one is an emote that turns you into...
Mm-hmm.
What's his name?
Yuri?
Yuri.
But yeah, anyways, so the guaranteed Calphite Queen head drop. So the Calphite Queen now has a guaranteed drop of the head, and it's a tattered head, so it's not like the same as a normal head. You get that on the 256 kill, which means you've gone double the drop rate.
Yep.
And the tattered head can only be used to create the Calphite Queen trophy in your POH, which is a requirement for the Desert Elite Diary. However, it cannot be used to create the Green Slayer helm. The head will also be dropped even if you have already completed the relevant Elite Diary task.
Okay.
You can also get the tattered head and the regular head on the same drop. You can get double.
Super rare, but yeah, you
can get it. It's been confirmed. This is a big one. Alcarad Palace shortcut.
Ooh.
The shortcut has been added to the back of the Alcarad Palace, allowing players with 70 agility to pass through a window if they've already unlocked the Desert Diary hard rewards. This allows easier access to the Shanty Pass after using an Alcarad teleport via an Amulet of Glory. This has been requested for like 2 years now, pretty much.
Yeah.
Probably longer.
I mean, it makes sense why they would have it. I never even used the Alcarad teleport.
How do you get the Shanty Pass?
Dueling ring.
Remember from the Duel Arena?
We'll teleport you right outside of it. Yeah, think so.
Yeah, I've just done Edged Glory, just in my house. This is nice. I do like how it's also locked behind the Hard Diary, because I feel like the Hard Diary for Desert is super shit, and then the Elite is like fucking, it's hot. You know what I mean? Like it's yeah. So it's nice that they added. If this was another Elite Diary, I'd be like,
come on,
I'd be
stacking
pretty
one
mad.
side.
Yeah, but that's nice. Good stuff.
Cool.
Next one though, the Grand Exchange offer prompt. So it is now possible to receive a message listing the contents of your collection box in the Grand Exchange when you log in. This is a 2-minute break to avoid spamming you every time you hop worlds. And to enable this, toggle talk. To enable this toggle, sorry, they put the comma in the wrong place. So I'm like trying to read it out and it's just like messing with my head. But to enable this, talk to one of the Grand Exchange clerks. The mobile reporting multi-menu. So players on mobile will now be prompted with a menu for selecting the type of report they wish to submit. Here you can toggle whether the report option appears on a right click. This is designed to aid user experience when submitting reports. And it just says what would you like to do. Report abuse, report game bug, toggle player option, cancel.
Kill.
The large yellow hint arrow, which appears when new players are idle on the tutorial island, has now been replaced with something more useful and informative.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I think they saw that like one post where like someone got stuck behind a tree.
What do you
Some
mean?
new player. Someone like there was a post like they got their friend or their girlfriend or something to try RuneScape, and they said they got stuck in a tree. I'm like, what do you mean? And they sent them like a screenshot or a picture, and it's like a tree's just blocking their whole screen.
And they didn't think to move it. I mean,
how would you know?
that's the thing. Yeah, how would you know when you're first time playing, or if you're younger? There's a lot of mistakes that I know. I got stuck on so many things that just
Yep.
were infuriating. Like there's a part where you needed to open up the music tab
Yep.
to put them, and I didn't know that. I'm sitting there being like, I don't know what to do. I've walked to the cooking guy. I've checked everywhere. I've cut a bajillion logs, and I know other people would struggle with that same problem. So
Yeah, you have to open up the music thing after you cook bread, right?
something like
Because
that.
that made me quit the first time, and I think it was you or maybe it was my friend that was like, "What are you stuck on?" I'd be tutorial. And I like log. I'm like, I make bread. And he won't let me go through it. click the little harp. I had a friend who, I guess like 2 years ago, tried playing old school again. He played a lot when he was a kid. And back in the day, he used to just try and beat Tutorial Island as fast as possible. So we'd make jokes that like, when Dead Man Mode would start, he'd be like maxing by the time people because he's just so good at Tutorial Island. We made stupid jokes like that, mainly because when he tried playing RS again, he like I was on Discord with him. And he's like raging, he's like swearing, like he's so stupid, blah, 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 blah. But he just didn't realize you have to click run in the option, but not the globe. There's a part you have to turn on run, but he turned it on the globe on the mini map, and that doesn't actually work for the tutorial.
That's right.
Yeah. So, like, hey, Jagex, if you're listening, consistency saved a lot of verbal abuse from one of my friends a long time ago. But he had to, like, toggle that option, and he thought that was dumb.
I know when I've made new accounts, that part I was always because you're running, you already know that you're clicking it to run, and then it's just like, why? The next thing says, you can run, click this to run. You're like, I'm already run. Oh, I gotta unclick, go to the wrench or whatever.
Which is weird. That's how you ran back in the day.
Weird. Times have changed.
Yeah. Anyways, coming soon, the mobile spellbook rework. So, adding a filter to the spellbook for mobile users was a bigger job than it sounds, and it should be easy hiding spells that you don't have the level of runes to cast, right? Well, no. It's pretty hard. The problem was that the game never had a lookup table that could do the check to see if, like, hey, you can cast a spell, let's make the icon bigger or more readily available.
Yeah.
So they kind of explain, like, they show them the code and they explain, you know, kind of the pains of resizing it.
And I can kind of give a little description. I've had some people asked when I tried to describe some of the coding in the past. They wanted me to describe it when it came up. So I'll do that now. And it says right here, it's a legacy code thing. RuneScript didn't have all the features that it does today back then. What they have here, I have no fucking clue what I'm looking at. Holy shit.
So we're looking at if statements right now.
If statements.
You can tell because it's if.
An
stat,
if
magic.
stands for interior functionality. You took coding for a year. That's pretty close, right?
Let's go with it.
And it has some brackets. Okay, I get this. So it's saying if you have stat. You want to move on? We can just skip. This is not
so
important.
if you have if your magic stat is above 25, your magic level is not high. Wait. If 20, okay, sorry. Let me say it again. If your magic level is lower than 25, it'll say your magic level is not high enough to cast a spell. We're assuming we're talking about Varrock Telly, as you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you don't have one law rune, you don't have enough law runes to cast a spell. Same with air and fire. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
If check non-elemental
But then it
runes
says return with a semicolon.
gets you out of the loop. I guess there's like some sort of like they're not showing us the whole code. And keep in mind, like I don't know much about coding.
I know absolutely everything.
I don't know. I doubt anyone really cares about this, but it's kind of nice. I would like to see more commenting. They don't comment enough. That's they always because you can add comments.
Huh? What do you mean?
You can like add like a comment in coding to like this is the
Oh, so you can explain your coding
or like
or your script,
what this chunk is doing, right?
So it's for some. Let's say the guy quits, the next guy comes in, they can look at it and see what's
That
going on.
and if there's issues, and just to keep it all clean, and so you just can quickly figure out what you're looking at.
Oh,
Because people code in different ways. I know people got a lot of shit. They didn't comment their code when I was taking it.
I mean, it makes sense.
It's just like formatting, right? It's like the equivalent of like indenting like a new paragraph.
Okay, let me just ask.
Maybe.
So I took grade 12 computer science. Was that what it was?
Comtech.
Computer
Very different,
technology.
but yeah.
And we built a website with some sort of coding thing. Dreamweaver. Yeah. GeoCities. Anyways, so is all the code in this game? So what we have looking at here, we're looking at one spell.
We're looking at what allows you to cast Varrock Teleport.
In RuneScape, is every single code in one file? If I opened up it's all in separate ones?
It's not like you open up one file and like and there's everything in RuneScape. No.
Okay.
They have it all.
I was gonna say you got to Control F and you're just sitting there forever going through looking for
Control F,
Rune. Okay, now I'm in the rune armor section.
1,700 found.
I'm just stuck in a quest text. I'm in a quest. I'm in rune mysteries right now. Holy shit.
Yeah.
No, but like you can see right there, it's a lot to make sure you can cast one spell.
Is that normal for a game and shit?
Yeah, it's normal. There's a lot more to it though. Obviously, like
Does that look clean to you? Is that a bit spaghetti? I hear that term thrown around with, especially in League of Legends, they say spaghetti code all the time.
I think it looks fine.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, I don't have like a degree or anything, but like I think it like
Took a semester though.
I mean, you would hope that like it's good, right? They do have like a little bit of commenting: usage, air, water, earth, and fire. You know what I mean? Usage, air, water. You can see like
That's a comment?
yeah, like above the if check elemental runes 3001. It's 3 air, 0 water, 0 earth, 1 fire.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so that comment is like that's the order of those numbers, what they're related to. So you need 3 airs, right? Those elemental runes, check if they have 3 airs. Like 0 is like null. It's like nothing. They don't care about water, earths. But did they have 1 fire rune?
Anyways, this is probably like the worst content, especially for such a heavy episode.
Yeah.
Oh, there's more. Look at all this. They have so much code.
Yeah, of course. It's a video game. There's gonna be a lot of code in a video game. But
Param, spell name, Varrock teleport.
But then they do show how like the spell gets highlighted and the resizing and all this stuff. So there's like a lot of work. And they do just like every fucking spell, right? Oh boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I didn't want to finish programming, because like that's what you're doing if you're working on a game you love. That sounds awful, right?
I mean, it sounds kind of interesting though. Anyway.
But then you fuck up and like you like open up your magic tab on mobile and all you see is like Dariak or something teleport. You can only teleport. You can't even log out. You're just stuck going to the wilderness now.
Shut the game down.
Yeah, and then they just like show parameters of like, whatever. No one cares about that stuff. Blah, 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 blah. It's a lot of work. Look what we have to do. That's kind of what they're saying.
It's a lot of work just looking at the dev blog.
Yeah. The fish shop in Yadazo, it now has a fish shop icon instead of a general store. The Jester and Nadasnot can now be walked through and won't disrupt player pathing. Yeah.
I wish we couldn't walk through anyone, just lining up at the bank.
Yeah, dude. Some old school Habbo Hotel.
Well, classic, you had to do that.
We're going to go back on that? Okay, so when I was in grade 3...
Oh, God. Just getting younger.
Plays with Babas. Anyways, I think we can move on to Runefest related stuff. The reveals.
Well, before we go on to Runefest, it's such a heavy topic. Maybe we'll just touch on some of the things they talked about on the Q&A. Honestly, it's just one thing. Probably would have been better to bring this up with the whole wiki thing. But when they did come on the Q&A, they mentioned an example of something they would like to do now since they have more control over the wiki. And it sounds sweet. They want to have a Google Maps of Gielinor. Maybe not literally Google Maps, but what we have of Google Maps in the Earth. They want the same kind of thing for Gielinor and RuneScape.
Look, Autumn Elegy's running to go runecraft like that. Like you can catch players in freeze frames and stuff.
That'd be kind of cool. You can like walk around. But what this would do was, let's say you want to go do a farm run. You can click on the map and set your destinations, and that's like the route you want to go, and it will tell you the fastest way to get there. So it'll be like teleport to here.
Would it be like walking only? All teleport methods, spellbook teleport
I'd imagine
methods?
So. Maybe you type in your magic level and it'll tell you.
Get an Uber ad in the bottom saying Uber's cheaper than taking a bus.
Yeah.
And it makes no sense, but...
So you need some Uber RuneScape. You just follow some guy and he brings you there.
Brings you to the wilderness, dude, and says, just don't worry about it, dude. It's faster, trust. I know a secret.
Oh, boy.
Give me your money, punk.
Anyways, let's move on to Runefest.
All right.
So yeah, big weekend of Runefest. It is an exciting event. I'm hoping next year we can maybe go to that. Maybe we can get like a meetup going. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
It was crazy this year. And yeah, unfortunately I had to go back and watch them all due to some of the personal stuff I was dealing with. Mm-hmm. Couldn't sit down for the solid 8 hours like I wanted to. Hopefully you guys understand. Anyways, what we got to talk about?
Dude, here's the funny thing. A lot of microtransactions. No, I'm kidding.
Awesome. The reveals. The new Rune shop.
So,
by experience.
The first thing I guess we'll talk about is the Runefest charity auction. So, if you're anything like us, you're counting down the days until Runefest 2018. Can you believe how close we are? Well, it's over, so I can't actually. In the spirit of all things community-related, they've decided to team up with the 3 chosen charities to help raise some extra money to support these incredibly important initiatives. This year has been fantastic for them. They, with like their previous eBay charity auction for that Game Blast thingy that we talked about, they did 35,000 euros?
Pounds. We go through this every time.
I don't know, dude. It's not Canada bucks, and I don't care.
C-bucks?
Yeah. Yeah, because of your kind donations, they're hosting an eBay charity auction to coincide with Runefest, and the money raised will be split between CPSL Mind, the Prince's Trust, and the YMCA.
Yeah, these are like familiar charities. Those are the 3 they usually do, right? They deal with like mental health and stuff like that, which is fitting, right? Today's age.
Yeah.
And RuneScape.
Yeah, actually, RuneScape's eBay account has 100% feedback. That's good.
That's good. They're good sellers.
Yeah. Well,
do people still? I guess people do still use eBay. I haven't gone on eBay for a long time.
Yeah, I've never bought anything off eBay. But yeah, so you can follow their eBay page and see how everything's going.
So we'll just go over the charities that they're doing so you can get an idea of what they're trying to accomplish. But CPSL Mind is a local mental health charity that provides support to individuals experiencing mental health problems during both periods of crisis and on the road to recovery. So this is a way for them to promote positive mental health well-being, and it also helps tackle the stigma and discrimination within our communities. And also with CPSL Mind, they have a Stop Suicide campaign, which Jagus says they wholeheartedly supports, and it aims to prevent suicides by raising awareness of the warning signs and giving members of the public the skills and confidence to have open conversations about suicide if they are worried about someone, and help those at risk. Because we know today's age, like depression and stuff seems to be kind of frequent, right? It's we live in a complicated world, and
yeah, and there's a lot of Ultimate Iron Man running around. We know how they like to play, right?
a little on the edge.
Well, like, they have to kill themselves a lot to, like, store items around. That was kind of the joke I was making. It's supposed to be more playful, not like, these are mentally ill. Oh, it wasn't going in that direction. Don't worry.
The other charity is the Prince's Trust, and this one believes that every young person have a chance to succeed and helps 11 to 30-year-olds who are unemployed or struggling to transform their lives. Many of these people are facing issues such as homelessness or mental health problems. The Trust's free programs help vulnerable young people to develop skills while boosting their confidence and motivation, providing the practical and financial support they need to stabilize their lives. There's also an international side of this, where they're working in Australia, Barbados, Canada, India, Jordan, Malta, Pakistan, and Qatar, delivering 4 core programs, as well as the International Leadership Program, Enterprise Challenge. And they're hoping to expand their reach into the USA and the wider Caribbean within the next phase of growth. And lastly, the YMCA has the Right Here Project, which works with young people to educate, campaign, and influence others around health and well-being. They provide a wide range of resources, videos, and online tools around mental health that are accessible to young people, parents, carers, and professionals across the country. They have delivered workshops around mental health to approximately 2,000 students, and 500 young people have engaged in their therapy-based activities, including their walk and talk sessions with Jeffrey the Pug. Oh, it's a dog. They're terrible at conversation, though.
Yeah, my experience, they can't hold a conversation for their fucking life.
Their young volunteers gave over 1,800 hours of their time last year to design and deliver work that improves health outcomes for young people. Thank you for the generous support. So if you're dealing with
put that in perspective, you could have maxed an account in that time.
Ooh, yeah, that's a lot. But anyways, if you're dealing with some of these issues, do reach out. Take a look at some of the programs. There's a ton out there. But check to see where you live, right? They vary depending on where you live around the world. But yeah, do reach out if you're struggling, because we know a lot of people do struggle, and just know that there's people out there that care, and they will support you. So don't be afraid to reach out and talk to someone, whether it's in-game or a professional. Well, make sure it's the right person in-game. Don't go to Edgeville.
Yeah. Or PvP Worlds.
Yeah.
Getting sand buckets as an Iron Man. Don't want to go there as well.
It's not the kind of advice you want to take. Anyways, let's get into the juicy bits.
Yeah, I looked at their eBay page and it's still like Game Blast 2018. They haven't really done anything yet. And
Forgot.
They probably
Saying they're being like, I feel like we're forgetting. Oh no, that charity we hyped up was to help them.
All right, Mod Kira in your underwear. Let's go, 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 go. Yeah, let's actually talk about Runefest reveals. So
last year we played the actual clips, but I guess since with the new teams being split off, they seem to be a lot more organized this year because we already have dev blogs for many of the things that they brought up for the reveals. So this is an exciting thing to talk about. There's a ton of cool things to look forward to if they do pass. And let's start it off with
the Cabos Lowlands.
Ooh.
I guess starting this off, there is some lore, so take it away. 5, 4, 3, 2, I'll do it.
Since Zarek's age of strife, armies of his lizardmen have attempted to reclaim Great Kourend in honor of their former ruler. Those lizardmen make their home in the Cabos Lowlands to the west of Kourend. The lizardmen will defend their home ruthlessly, and as such, the Cabos Lowlands can be very dangerous to humans. However, those who are willing to enter will find a land of many opportunities.
Yeah. I like how it's Zarek's related. I think if you go in the Chamber of Zarek's and actually read the lore books I mentioned before, some of them are like pretty cool. How the scavenger room was like a dude trying to train a scavenger to like fight. They were trying to like figure out how to train them so they can be soldiers. He like tries to go through the lizardman shaman room and he gets poisoned by them because he's not wearing a Shazian or bring antidote. An idiot. And he gets PK'd.
The lore is actually pretty cool. And again, we talked about this last weekend with Zaya, but they really went all out with the lore in this area. And when I covered it in the lore segments probably a couple months ago, it's very Game of Thronesy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of warring between families and betrayals and like assassination attempts, all to take over and be the king of the Great Kourend. And it was pretty interesting. Anyways, we're going to get into it, but I'm very excited to see what they're going to be continuing to do with this region of the game.
Yeah, so we'll start off with what they teased last year, actually, and that is the Farming Guild. So the Farming Guild is a new guild found in the Cabos Lowlands. The guild is separated into 3 large greenhouses, where each one acts as a different tier for the guild. The first tier requires 45 farming to enter, the second 65, and the third 85. Entering the guild requires 60% Hosidious favor. It is possible to use stat boosts to enter the guild areas. Nice.
What? Is that just stews? What boosts farming?
Botanical pies.
Oh.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
That shit got me through my diaries, I don't like farming.
Well, I have no idea why. It's so easy.
Yeah. First tier, 45 farming. Guildmaster. No, I'm kidding. It provides background on the guild. There's a bank with a pull booth, deposit box, equipment shop. It's a farm store pretty much. Seed shop, same as the Draenor seed market. Garden supplier, it's a garden supplier. This is a very, large
Copy
compost bin. It's a large compost bin. No, I'm kidding. It's the double of the capacity of a regular compost bin.
Oh, cool.
Yep. The cactus patch, which is the Alcared cactus patch, and there's a farmer who will look after the patch for you. Allotment, herb, and flower patch. The usual allotment setup with 2 different allotment patches, herb and flower. It's pretty standard.
Another herb spot.
Yep. A bush patch, identical to other bush patches, and a tool leprechaun, of course.
Wow, that's huge for 45 farming. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's like it's a one-stop shop for farming. You know what I mean? You get a little bit of everything.
Iron Men love it. So, second tier, which is 65, you get a water source, a tree patch, a Hespori patch.
Ooh.
Am I saying that right? Hespori.
Hespori.
Yeah. And so when this patch finishes growing, it can be fought as a basic demi-boss. Various rewards. It's a little demi-boss you can grow.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to be going through the rewards in a little bit.
Yeah. The Anima patch.
Anima.
Anima kind of squirts water. No, I'm kidding.
Anima patch.
The Anima patch. It's a new patch with worldwide effects depending on what is grown.
I'm going to guess that it might be something like a chance of getting one extra resource from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they talk about it a bit
Yeah.
so we'll get to it in a second. But yeah, another tool leprechaun. The third tier, which you need 85 farming. So there's a bank, a water source, a fruit tree patch, a spirit tree patch, which is huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
Hey guys, that's pretty big.
I mean, you can teleport right there, so.
Yeah, exactly.
You need 99 farming, but unless you have, 92?
Gotta start grinding out that Zalra for those spirit seeds now.
I have like 10 of them.
Yeah, I got a bunch too.
Sorry, 91, you can grow 2 spirit trees. So you first unlock it at level 83, and then you can do 1, but then 91 you can get 2. 99 is when you get a limited, so at 99 it goes from 2 to like 10.
Yeah, pretty big. They have a redwood patch, a
Wow.
Celestras patch, and a tool leprechaun. So don't worry, we're going to talk about the new patches in a second. Actually, let's just talk about them now. So literally in a second. So yeah, the farming demi-boss, the Hespori patch, which requires 65 farming we just mentioned. So this is a new patch unique to the second tier of the farming guild. And the only thing that can be grown here is a Hespori plant. The seeds for this plant can be randomly found while harvesting other plants. This can be toggled by talking to the NPC near the patch, or by completing farming contracts, which we'll talk about after these patches. There's an NPC here who will look after the plant while it grows for a price. Once the patch is fully grown, Hesperi can be fought as a solo demi-boss. Killing the boss grants farming experience. It has a loot table of seeds, including a unique white lily seed.
Interesting.
Alongside being the only way for players to gather untradeable anima seeds. The Hesperi also has a chance of dropping the bottomless compost bucket, which can hold 10,000 compost of any kind. The Hesperi is instanced with an item reclaim service that works identically to other grave systems such as the Grotesque Guardian, Zora, and Vorkath, and can only be utilized, and only one can be utilized at any time. Sorry, Ultimate Iron Man. This means that any other grave will be wiped on death. So the bottomless bucket, it can be filled with regular, super, or ultra compost, but it can only have one type of compost in it at a time. Each compost used to give the buckets 2 charges of the kind, so emptying the compost will cause all of it to be lost. But yeah, when used on a patch, the bucket uses 1 charge of the current filled compost. Bucket can hold 10,000. It is tradable when empty. It is kind of, I don't know how I feel about you getting 2 uses per bucket of compost that you're putting in it. I might have went over that really quickly, but
It seems even if you only got 1 use out of it, it would still be super useful.
yeah, the fact that you're like, it's like the blast furnace of farming.
Yeah.
Typically, it's nice to bring the lunar spell, the compost spell.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like this will replace it once you get the comp, because it's just 1 bucket you hold that you're going to be saving money over time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you don't have to be on lunars. So I don't know how I feel about that exactly. Mainly also because I had to grind volcanic mine for the spell upgrade. So that kind of sucks.
Vote no.
Yeah, I'm voting no. But I actually do like this bucket. I just don't like how, I guess this will just cause compost to go down in price.
Probably.
Maybe they do see it as too high, but I wonder what that will affect, like herb seeds and stuff.
It might, because I know like ultra compost kind of fluctuates on herb prices because you get an extra herb from it, right? So it will it kind of sits around what a snapdragon or a ranar might be, or a torsal. That's where you're going to want to use it the most.
It could actually affect herbal or prices. I might, sometimes I call it herbalism, just other MMOs, but herbal or prices, like you know what I mean? Just like,
yeah.
I don't know how badly it would affect the herbs, but
It might be something where over time, more just are slowly coming into the game than usual.
But hey, who knows? Yeah. Next thing up is the anima patch. So this, you need 76 farming, and this is a new patch unique to the second tier of the farming guild. Planting something here has a worldwide effect on all your other patches. There are 4 seeds that can be planted here, which can only be obtained through fighting the Hespori and are untradeable. The Atlas seeds, when these grow into an Atlas seed, When planted, these grow into an Addis plant, and this plant provides increased yield to all other patches in the game.
It's good.
Iosaur seeds. When planted, these grow into an Iosaur plant, and the plant decreases disease chance for all other patches in the game.
Interesting.
Chrono seed. It'll probably bring back old school RuneScape. Like your World of Warcraft joke. You familiar with World of Warcraft? Chronos? No?
I have no
Okay.
idea. I thought you were going to go with like a chrono trigger.
No. Anyways.
Into the future and seeing
It was a bad joke, and the few of you that get that will be like, that was bad. When planted, these grow into a Chronos plant, and this plant increases the speed at which other patches grow by providing a chance to skip a growth stage.
It's pretty cool. Although I find it might just be a bit more annoying because if you're wanting to use that, if it has a chance to skip, you know what I mean? Like you want to go do your herb run a little bit earlier, and only one of them had a chance to skip. The rest is still growing. You're like, fuck, I waste my time.
But
I guess you could use the lunar spell where you check on all your plants.
Yeah. Also, like tree runs in general, right? You might have like spear trees that finish early, or like hardwoods that like, oh, I got 2 of them done. Cool. These are all really cool and really unique. The Addis seed, I feel like, would be the most used one just due to the herb runs.
What I think is interesting is that they have a little point at the bottom. These plants activate as soon as they are planted. They have no grow, and rather than grow over time, they begin to die.
Yeah.
The plants will last approximately 3.5 days until they die, in which you will have to replant them again.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
It's nice. It's not like a plant set and forget. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I do like you have to maintain that, and you gotta farm this boss, this demi-boss. Like, I do like how farming is like a really nice skill if you just want to jump on and just do something and get off.
But now you got to bring a bando set with you.
But like, you jump on, do your herb run, do your tree run, go and maintain your farming guild stuff. Like, I do like that. I feel like the farming 99 farming cape will probably get a teleport to the guild.
Yeah.
It would be kind of cool.
If not, you got a spirit trip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, at your house, probably.
Yep. We'll move on to the Celestris patch, which you need 85 farming. So this patch is new, obviously, and it's unique to the 3rd tier of the farming guild. Once the Celestris patch has fully grown, which is 16 hours, which is the same length it requires to grow a fruit tree, by the way, it can be harvested for a tradable resource, the Celestris wood, which can be turned into battle staves at 40 fletching.
Huh.
Yep. The amount of Celestris wood harvested from a fully grown patch is random, much like the way herbs work, with a minimum number of lives to ensure a guaranteed amount each harvest.
That's a cool idea. Do you think... Because this will probably crash the prices of battle staffs.
100%, which means they might have to like look into changing. Well, I think battle staves are linked to the elk price of fire/air staves.
So this is just going to be crazy money.
Yeah.
Possibly.
This would be really nice money.
Unless you just harvest and you get like 2.
Yeah, could be, right? I feel like you probably get like 7.
That's a lot. That's 8K.
Yeah.
So that's what?
85 farming, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, look at Renars and Snapdragons and Torsals and stuff.
But still,
And this
that's
takes 16 hours.
41K to... Yeah.
Right?
I'm not opposed to it. It's an interesting idea.
It's definitely interesting. Helps out Iron Man a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like I'll talk about this, I guess, afterwards. We'll go on to the Redwood patch. So that is what you need 90 farming for. And once fully grown, which is 85 hours, the same length as a mahogany tree. So was that like 3.5 days?
Yeah.
About. The Redwood patch will turn to a redwood tree, which can be cut down for logs and woodcutting experience. The Redwood patch is relatively close to a bank found in the 3rd tier of the guild. So that means it might be, if you want to get 99 woodcutting, you know what I mean?
It does give you, what, 8 spots to cut?
If there's
Each side is 2.
Yeah.
Unless you can... I don't think you...
upper level?
I don't think so.
That'd be kind of ridiculous.
You gotta build ladders.
That'd be construction, eh? Link some construction. No, but like, that does get you to the woodcutting guild. Get you closer to a bank, but you also lose the hidden woodcutting boost. You know what I mean? Like you get closer to a bank, you don't have to share a tree with someone, but it's also going to be a bit slower. And then the large compost bin, which is just a compost bin, but has double the amount that you can store.
Fun.
Before we move on to the patch improvements and stuff that we talked about, what are your thoughts on the current basic layout of like what we've talked about? The patches, the tree patches, and all that stuff, the new boss, the farming guild?
Honestly, it all seems pretty cool to me. I mean, the only downfall I see is that when you're doing a farm run, you're gonna feel like almost like forced to want to stop here. And just stopping at the farming guild, it sounds like it'll add a lot more time to your farm run. How do you do your Anima patch, maybe the boss, maybe the Celestial patch, depending on what level it is.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be getting more experience and whatnot, but like I think it's cool. And I have like personally, I have no problem only doing like half a run, like skipping certain patches.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people when they're doing a herb run or something, they want to stop at every spot that they can.
Yep.
And that might be including doing this new Anima patch, or you know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah, so I think a lot of these are really cool ideas. I like the idea of like a demi-boss. It's kind of related to this that skillers can't kill. I'm kidding. But,
well, pretty much, unless you got the recoils.
yeah. I like, the basic idea of this, but the issue is that now, like, you guys like, oh, I'm gonna do my farming runs for this episode. I'll farm in like, I'll go hard and bursts of like 2 weeks where like I'm getting every time, you know what I mean? Quickly on my phone, do herb runs, do I'll like do my runs as much as possible, but it's so much to maintain. And
have we talked about the existing patches yet?
No, we still have that and contracts. Yeah. But I feel like, this adds like I feel like if this guild comes out, I have to farm. I have to start doing my farm runs now. Like I feel like it gets to a point now where like I can't just ignore it because there's so much I'm going to be missing out on with like extra patches, which means my farm runs are extra money, which means like, it's, a lot of extra money.
Especially with that Celestris.
Yep.
The battle staff.
Having like the contracts that we're going to talk about now, and then some of the new patches and our new seeds and existing seed updates. Like, I feel like that, like, they're kind of putting farming as like the equivalent to like Slayer, where like Slayer is a very core skill in the game, like Slayer Escape meme. Like every day, like the average person logs in and does a little bit of Slayer every time they get off.
Yeah. And
I feel like farming will turn to that skill that like everybody will like do.
Now, is that a problem with the game or a problem with the person's mindset that they feel obligated to do this if they don't want to?
Well, it depends, right? So like goal oriented or the current goals that someone has and what they want to achieve. Like if you're trying to save up money and stuff, if you're trying to make money, like you there's no excuse for not spending 10 minutes to do a farm run of herbs. There's no excuse to like doing your battle stabs.
But I know a lot of, 'cause right now it's good money to do. A lot of people just don't do their herb runs.
Yeah.
And they don't feel like it.
They don't feel like it, but like if you want to buy like a Dragon Hunter crossbow to farm Vorkath, you want to buy like even Ancestral or something, right? Like let's say you like, or like a T-bow. So you're like, you should be doing those daily, because it's the little things that make you money. If you do all your dailies, well, not, like all your good dailies, and then your farm runs every day, like your herb runs at least once or twice a day, even though you can fit in way more than that.
Yep.
That's like kind of what you have to do. You can sit there and just like wait for like a big drop to happen in like raids or like, a Dragon Warhammer to drop off a Lizardman Shaman. But really you have to learn how to do like passive and active incomes with like, you gotta start flipping and all that, you know what I mean? Like you gotta like, if you're saving up for like a big goal, that's not, you know what I mean? That's something that's like, that will actually take you a couple months. Like me getting max gear took me like 6 months to do. And it could have easily been 4, maybe even 4 if I was merching the whole time and doing all my dailies every day as much as I could.
But you have a very efficient mindset. You know what I mean? Everything you're doing to get that T-bow, you're like, I want to do all these little things because it all adds up. By the time I get a T-bow, I save myself X amount of days of grinding. Whereas I do know there's a lot of people who are just like, fuck it, I'm just going to do raids. I'm just going to do this or that to make the money for that T-bow one day.
Yeah, so I like to play for like the long game. So that's why this is like troubling to me, where it's like, this is a new part of the game I have to incorporate, where like as of right now, but when I log in to go do blood runes, I use my Draken's medallion, because I don't know, it looks cool and gives me a good telly. Run to the bank, get you Varrock tellies, go do my Zap staff, go do my flips in the GE. And like, that's a mill a day I do, just for my flips and for my Zap staffs, while I'm doing
blood runes.
Now, but what I'm asking is, like, having this in the game, is that a core game problem to the RuneScape experience, or do you think that's like a you problem?
Well, like, it definitely, like...
Because you're not the only one with this mindset. A lot of players play like this,
Yeah.
right? That's where this whole EHP comes into hand.
Yeah, so it depends. Like, if you want to be more efficient, but, like you don't like the pressure of it. Like, I like being efficient in terms of, like, I'm going to do some smithing.
Yep.
Let's hit max rates. I love that. But I don't like feeling obligated to do certain things. Like, I haven't logged into RS in like 3 days, and I'm like sweating. Everything on my GE is bought and sold right now, and I'm like, that's 3 mil I've missed out on, which, like, that adds up, right?
For sure.
So then now, and it's like, I haven't even been doing my herb runs. Now, how much money have I missed out in total if I was doing my herb runs?
For me, I'm starting to feel like I need to start incorporating farm runs so I can I can pivot for when this update comes. It's like, that's how I am. Some people just like, that's cool. And they don't care. Like, I don't like farming. Fuck it.
Yeah, a lot of people would be, I'll get there when I feel like getting there.
Yeah. Honestly, if, like, the one thing that stopped me from my farm runs is I don't have any of my farm tags. I had everything super organized on my PC where it's like, type in herb, type in tree, all my tellies, everything I need.
Mm-hmm.
Cover all 10,000 taste buds. But
as a whole, I think there's still a lot more to talk about. I still think this is, like, a cool concept. And it's going to be, like, massive for Iron Man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this would be, like...
Well, there's more to it, too, as well. So, I guess, overall, like, I do think it's really cool, but for
my mental health, I'm worried. For me personally, so I don't know how anyone else feels.
Those charities have no programs for this problem.
Yeah.
Well, let's continue on, because we do have new seeds that they're adding.
And
Farming contracts.
And farming contracts. So let's hear it.
Well, with the farming contracts, within the guild, you'll find a chief contractor, and this guy will assign players to contracts that require you to grow certain things within the farming guild itself. And in exchange for seed packs. And there's the tier 1, 2, and 3s, and the restriction is dependent on the 1, 2, and 3 tiers, right? Of, like, the packs. But with the packs, you do get some of these tree seeds or whatever that we talk about, some of these new seeds, and yeah, some more of that. I guess we'll mention some new stuff. With existing patches, they want to add some new things and improve some new things. And one of them, I guess the first one we'll talk about, is the dragon fruit tree, which requires 81 farming, and it is a fruit tree. The seeds are tradable and are rarely obtained through nests, boss drops, or by completing farming contracts. These trees have the same growth time as any other fruit tree and give the following experience of 140 experience for planting, 17.3k for checking its health, and 70 per harvest. Harvesting the tree gives you a dragon fruit, and it's a new food item that can be used to eat for 10 HP, or you can put it into a dragon fruit pie at 73 cooking. The pies heal 10 hit points per serving and provide a temporary fletching boost of +4.
But more importantly, 10 dragon fruit can be squeezed into a vial to make bottled dragon breath. This can be used to fully charge the dragon fire shield and similar shields instantly.
And discuss your coworkers.
You know what this is huge for? Dead man mode. You PK that kid that's got that DFS, you can instantly charge it. Boom.
Fair.
Even for those defense pures, imagine PKing, you spec with the shield, potion, spec with the shield. Like, you could incorporate this into, like, a Gmaul combo now. You're risking like 7 mil for, like, a combo, but you can spec with it, swap your Gmaul, spec with that, use the potion.
Those defense pures can PK more often.
They can actually go back to
bring
PK.
all 3 of their shields with them and swap with the specs.
Yeah.
One of them freezes, doesn't it?
I think so. But yeah, you can use it on any type of shield. That is a dragon fire equivalent.
Which is pretty cool. No longer will I go to the Karen catacombs and be like, I forgot food. Well, I'll just tell you last second. I'll just tell you, and then you just fucking die.
AFK on the bronze dragons.
Yeah. Yeah. The next one is the white lily, which requires 58 farming. And so the white lily can be grown in flower patches, and they're only drop a Hespori, but they are tradable, and they have the same growth time as other flowers and give the following farming experience: 42 for planting, 250 for harvesting. And when fully grown, a flower patch with white lily in it will protect all of crops in adjacent allotment patches. They say allotments and not herbs.
So I'm assuming,
Oh, good call. I was thinking
yeah,
it would do herbs as well, but no, I think you're right.
which would be busted, but now you have a reason to plant watermelon seeds again.
I mean, I'm lazy.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a little pricey after a while.
I mean, I think you can just let them sit there, though. Because
Yeah.
typically you would just, limpworts are the best, right?
Well, yeah, because you make money from that.
Yeah.
Especially now, since remember that change they did with the limperts?
Yep.
Now they are, they've gone up in price.
Yep.
So those free-to-play players can
Get bonds.
get some bonds.
Yeah. The next one is the potato cacti. Requires 64 farming. This can be grown in the cactus patch, and the seeds are tradable. Get them through nests, birds drops, completing farming contracts. They take 70 minutes to grow, and they give the following farming experience of 68 for planting and 68 for harvesting. If they introduce potato cacti seeds, you can no longer buy potato cacti from NMZ.
Good.
Yep. And snape grass.
Okay.
71 farming, can be grown in allotment patches. The seeds are tradable and rarely obtained through nest bosses and farming contracts. The seeds take 70 minutes to grow, and you get 82 for planting, 82 for harvesting. If they introduce this, snape grass will be taken from NMZ. This is huge for Iron Men. It's using another way to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Prayer pots, like it's pretty big.
I mean, you could always just go grab them from, what is it, Remington?
Yeah, but this adds, like, heavy air quotes, 0 time. You know what I mean? Like, you just kind of pick them up as you're doing your herb runs, which is pretty nice. That is it for the Farming Guild specifics. There's still a lot more to talk about, though. Oh my god, we might have to do this like 2 parts.
It's a big episode, boys.
Yeah.
Hang in there.
Yeah, anyways, next thing we'll talk about is Brimstone. So on the edge of the Kebos lowlands lies the sulfur volcano of Mount Karulm.
Karulm? Yeah.
Karulm. And here the Tassikal masters of life and death make their home. Within the shadows of this volcano lies Brimstone, home of the Caliph. These beings were once human, but they have abandoned their previous lives in the name of the Tassikal. Together, man, you should be reading this. You want to read it?
Together, the Tassikal and the Caliph work together to maintain the balance between life and death and assist them, and you might just be rewarded.
Yeah.
So I do think the Tassikal are like a race that split off from the Tazar.
Yeah.
They're going to be kind of similar looking.
Within Brimstone, you'll find Konar, the newest Slayer Master. There's also a bank with a deposit box and a pull box. Furnace, weapon shop, sells, low level weapons. They should have named him Mia Khalith. That would have been pretty funny. Neve memes and all aside, it would have been a good addition to the
Just
game.
want to see more pictures.
Yeah. Some big Nars. But, yeah, with the new Slayer Master, Konar, he's a member of the Khalith race and is a new master in Brimstone. You need 75 combat and is a little different when compared to your usual Slayer Masters. And tasks he assigns require you to kill monsters in specific areas. So going out of your way to complete tasks for him has its benefit. Each task completed from Konar rewards the players with 18 Slayer points, and all kills on task from this master have a chance of hitting a new global loot table. The chance of hitting this table is scaled by the combat level of the NPC you're fighting, and loot is granted in addition to any normal job you would have received. The loot table is split between 2 potential rewards. Generic loot meant as a slight increase to your profits, including food to sustain you on your task, and a rare chance of getting the new unique drop of the untradeable one-handed Hasta.
Ooh.
So the Hasta has the attack stats of the stab, slash, and crush attack stats of 55. Got a 60 melee strength, 4 attack rate, Its special is Unleash. Costs 5 to 100 special attack energy. The spec uses all of your remaining spec, with a minimum of 5% being used. Your next attack will receive 5% accuracy and 2.5% damage boost for every 5% used.
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. For example, using 50% special attack would grant a 50% accuracy and 25% damage buff.
I like how you can choose to spam them more often.
Yeah.
Or
Boss is about to die and you're going to teleport back to your POH and drink up.
Sure. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Definitely like a really unique idea. It does give negative defense stats though.
So yeah, most Hastas give you positive, right?
Yeah, like the Zammy Hasta gives you plus. So this is pretty cool. So Konar, alongside the other Slayer Masters, also sell Boots of Stone for 200 GP. These require 44 Slayer equipped and are needed to go inside the Brimstone Slayer dungeon detailed right now. So there's going to be new creatures alongside this new Slayer Master and zone near Brimstone. There's a sulfur volcano of Mount Karul, home to the brand new Slayer dungeon.
Kill.
So it's a single way combat throughout, and it only includes tasks, so you can't just like
Grind there.
It's like the new Neve's Cave.
Yeah. Cannons are allowed into the entire dungeon, and aside from the separate chamber where the alchemical Hydra can be found, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Interesting.
But yeah, in order to be safe in there, you need the Boots of Stone, or else you'll take consistent damage until you do.
Huh.
Floor is made of lava in there, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, so 44 Slayer, you'll unlock the ability to kill sulfur lizards. And they're located within the dungeon, assigned by Mazchna. How do you say that guy's name?
Mazkna.
Mazkana, Vanica, Chalder. They have no noteworthy mechanics or drops and attack with melee only, and they are intended to add some additional variety to the low-level Slayer bracket. Slayer Masters assigned the Desert Lizards would instead assign Lizards, allowing players to either kill the Desert or the Sulfurs.
Oh.
This is huge. Desert Lizards suck.
Probably, not even kidding, probably the worst task you can get in the game.
Like the most annoying by far.
Because you need to use your salt on them.
Your
and-
ice cooler thingy?
Ice coolers, I'm sorry, yes. Ice coolers on them when they're low health, but not too low health. Also, just waste it, because you can still use it on them, it'll disappear. You also need to bring your what's it called?
Water skins?
Water skins, so you don't die of dehydration. Fuck, man, I hate, that was such a bad task. Because sometimes you would bring like 5 extra just in case, and you would go over, you know what I mean? Now you gotta leave and go buy some more water coolers to come back.
Now,
Anyways.
imagine being an Omni Mauler, having to train 55 Slayer. That was my life. Because they're sulfur, though, do you think you'd stop to throw... And they're probably like little steamy boys. You might still have to throw little coolers on them.
Yeah, I gotta put them out.
Now, if they're only lizards, do Lizardman Shaman count? Is this a loophole? But yeah, 62 Slayer. The next thing, I guess, the next monster is the Worm. So within the dungeon, the Brimstone Slayer dungeon, you can get assigned these by Duradel, Neve, Chalder, and Konar. These worms have a very rare chance to drop the Dragon Sword and Dragon Harpoon. Wait, ready for this? Previously found within the Chamber of Xerix, both the Dragon Sword and Harpoon would be removed from the Chamber of Xerix loot table. I've been asking for this since I've gotten like 30 of them. Fuck. I've gotten these more often than prayer scrolls. I've gotten 1 augury, like 2 or 3 riggers, and I've gotten like 5 fucking harpoons. Actually, I haven't got a dragon sword yet, but
So that's big, because those items were kind of outliers in the raid drop table, because they're not very useful. Like Dragon Harpoon has its uses, but it's weird that it comes from
a raid.
A raid, which is like the end game content.
It would just make like, hey, I spent 30 hours grinding and I get 200k or like 5 mil.
So
it sucks.
I can see why they did this. I think that was a good choice.
Yeah. Next up is Drake. Requires 84 Slayer. So
The Rapper.
Drake the Rapper will be found in Brimstone Slayer dungeon, and he's going to be he'll be assigned by Duradel, Neve, and Konar. He does not fly or he uses both melee and ranged attacks.
It's not super realistic. But
Started
okay.
from the bottom. Yeah. Anyways, Drakes have a chance to drop their claws and teeth, both are which attachments for boots.
Does he not clip his nails or something?
No, he doesn't. Have you seen him?
True. I know his teeth are looking a little sharp, a little rusty.
Yeah, when he says clippers, he's talking about the sports team. I don't know. Bad joke. Yeah, a Drake Claw can be a Drake Claw can be combined with the Boots of Stone to create tradable Boots of Brimstone. This process cannot be undone, and the Boots of Brimstone requires 70 defense, magic, range, and 44 Slayer equipped. You get 3 attack bonus, 3 magic, 5 range, 10 defense for the melees, 5 for range and magic.
Okay, cool.
The tooth can be combined with holy sandals to create the tradable devout boots. This process cannot be undone. The Devout Boots require 60 prayer equipped and are considered a Ceredoman item inside the God Wars. Prayer bonus of 5. Special effect, Devout Boots are considered an item of Ceredoman when in the God Wars dungeon.
I'm going to assume not, but I wonder if you can bring these into the Brimstone dungeon. Probably not.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. That would be a little OP.
So the Holy Sandals currently have +3 prayer. So it's a pretty big buff, a +5 on the boots.
Yeah.
And I have like 3 of them. I have 3 or 4 pairs. So, because I just have them like different pures and shit.
You're going to flip them?
Don't
Sell
question
'em?
me. Yeah, I'll flip them. Buy some extra V-Bucks. Treat myself. Next up is the Hydra, requiring 95 Slayer, which will be the new highest Slayer monster. Or Slayer creature.
Yeah.
Slayer fight. I don't know.
Slayer monster.
creature,
That's good.
They'll be located within the Brimstone Slayer, assigned exclusively by Konar, and they use both range and magic attacks. Hydras have a chance to drop 3 untradeable ring pieces and a Hydra tail, which is an attachment to the Dragon Bone necklace.
Ooh, there it is.
When the Eye of the Hydra, Fang of the Hydra, and the Heart of the Hydra are combined, these 3 pieces form the tradable Brimstone ring. The ring has no requirement to equip and has a 1 in 4 chance with each spell to ignore 10% of your opponent's total magic defense.
Okay.
So, that's not all. You have +4 stab, slash, crush, and ranged attack accuracy, +6 magic, +4 melee strength, +4 stab, slash, and crush, and range defense, and a +6 magic defense.
Wow, so that's kind of like a hybrid ring. So it does have the same melee strength as the Berserker ring, right?
Unimbued though.
That's the thing. Are you going to be able to imbue it? Because it'll still be the same as a Berserker ring, but now you get some accuracy.
So they don't
Specify it's imbuable, and they usually do that. If you can imbue an item, they will say you can imbue it.
It would get a little crazy if you could imbue it.
I don't think you should be, because this is definitely a tribrid ring, which, so if you do, like, first thing that comes to mind, Dagonoth Kings.
Yeah, Ring of Suffering is what I bring.
You bring a Ring of Suffering for the defensive stats, but you might want to bust this bad boy out just to rip through it. Depending on how rare this is the go-to PK ring.
Yeah.
This could also be a go-to for Callisto, because you can bring, is it Enfeeble that reduces their defense?
Okay.
Because, hey, pro tip, if you're safe spotting Callisto, or even Venonators, try and cast that spell, reduce their defense, bring them to the safe spot, slap them around a bit, the little pro tip. You have to take off, like, your armor, obviously, while you're casting, so you don't have the negative, but ignoring 10% of your opponent's total magic defense. This would also be interesting for, like, Deadman mode again, brings a whole new aspect of those guys that grind 95 Slayer, or 99 Slayer, or try to. Typically, they would do it for the Kraken Tentacles.
Yeah.
Now, they would do it for this ring.
As well. You okay with it?
See, depending on the drop rate, but in total, yeah, because it's, 95 Slayer requirement.
That's high.
What's the previous one? Thermo?
Yep.
Yeah. And that drops a smoke battle staff.
And the
occult, but like occult's like what, a couple 100K?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is pretty big. But yeah, the next thing is the Hydra Tail. So when you combine this with the Dragon's Bone Necklace and a Bone Crusher, it forms the Untradable Bone Crusher Necklace. It's untradable because the Bone Crusher is untradable, but this necklace requires 80 Praetor equipped, and it gives the effect of both the Bone Crusher and the Dragon Bone Necklace. The necklace must be equipped for 9 seconds to gain the effect of the Bone Necklace, the Dragon Bone Necklace. The necklace is charged with Ecto tokens as per the Bone Crusher and maintains the same prayer restoration rates as the Dragon Bone Necklace. The effects of the Bone Crusher also apply when it's in your inventory.
Do you think this is going to be the thing that makes the Dragon Bone Necklace useful?
Maybe.
Because the thing is, you could still just bring the Bone Crusher. It's just going to free up an inventory spot.
So the only thing I can think of is the Dragon Bone Necklace is really nice for
bursting monkeys.
Monkeys, yeah. Well,
save a bit of money.
Well, typically, yeah. From the 2 major uses I see from it is Smoke Devils, or no, Dust Devils. Sorry, because they have no magic defense. You can also bring them to Smokes, but they have magic defense, so it's not optimal. You could do it with the monkeys. I actually have no idea.
What does the magic defense matter?
Because like if you're doing Slayer, I see a lot of people make this mistake. If you're doing Slayer, and you're bursting or barraging with Ancients, it goes off like the opponent's magic defense, right? So a lot of things in Karen, so like the Necreals, the Dust Devils, the Abbey Demons, they have 0 magic defense, which means you don't need any magic attack. You know what I mean? Like you need less. So you like going in with like full Mystics is stupid. You want to go in with like Proselyte because like they have no magic defense. You can just like hit them super accurately, and you get the prayer bonus. So if you bust out the Dragon Bone necklace, you get the prayer with the Bone Crusher. Like you get
yeah.
But also you can also melee. There's that melee thing where you melee the monkey. So I don't know if the monkeys have magic defense.
Yeah, like I think this would actually make it like
something where I would actually go out and buy a Dragonstone necklace, a Dragon Bone necklace, because like
might be good to have for those niche.
Worst case
situations.
scenario, you just have a cool item now, just chilling in your inventory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you might as well, right? It doesn't like hurt, and you can always revert the process whenever you want. The necklace is a +12 prayer bonus, which is massive.
Yep,
that's huge. And the special effects are the Dragon Bone necklace and the Bone Crusher. So you crush bones, and then you get prayer points.
Yeah.
Yeah, you auto bury bones. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Next up is the Alchemical Hydra, also requiring 95 Slayer. So the Alchemical Hydra, located within the Brimstone Dungeon, is a new solo Slayer boss designed exclusively by Konar. Or assigned, sorry. Designed by Konar.
He's a web developer.
Yeah, he's fully functional. He's self-aware.
He's sitting at a desk with a computer and shit.
Gotta give him money and shit so he gives you good tasks. But yeah, it can only... Maybe it's Modjet? No.
Imagine.
It can only be fought as part of a Hydra Slayer task or a boss task, of which only Konar will be able to assign. The Alchemical Hydra, it will not be an easy opponent. As such, you'll be well rewarded if you manage to defeat it. It has a chance to drop Ferocious Gloves, a Hydra Claw, which is an attachment for the Zami Hasta. All Hydra unique drops, of course, and a new pet, the Alchemical Hydra.
Of course.
So, the Ferocious Gloves are a new pair of tradable gloves that will focus on offensive melee. They require 70 defense. So, it's 16 to attack, slash, and crush, minus 16 to magic and range, plus 14 to magic strength. Interesting to see where this is going. I feel like we're phasing out barrel gloves being best in slot at this point.
Kind of what it seems like. I'm surprised they didn't incorporate it in some way. Like I'm surprised you don't attach a fang or something to the gloves, right? Or you bring it into I don't know. So these are going to be better than Barrow's gloves.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
No, awful.
I was already against the granite gloves from Grotesque Guardians because those were as good as Addy gloves. And all it does is give players excuse to not do Recipe for Disaster, which like it's a long quest, and
so the only thing that's preventing you from being on board with this is that
it's phasing out a big part of content.
Yeah. So do you think if this was tied to the quest in some way, you'd be more okay with it?
So if this was like attached to barrel gloves, yeah, I'd be fine with it.
Okay.
And it's because like I mentioned before, like leapfrogging content. So as of right now, you would just use that credit card, buy a couple bonds, and then you can now buy these new gloves.
Sure.
And then you can do it with the Tormented bracelet. And range, not yet. You just stick with the D-high, take a hit. But eventually they're going to come out with new ones.
And the issue is that
now you never have to do Recipe for Disaster unless you want, like, it's a tribrid glove. You know what I mean? Now the barrel gloves are... I'm actually 100% okay if the barrel gloves fall into a niche of, like, the ring that we mentioned above. Where
PKing.
We're like PKing or, like, just, like, a tribrid, like, you're fighting something that you need to use multiple things. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, you're also... Like, you know, you wouldn't use these to fight monkeys, the demonic gorillas, because you get minus 16 attack or magic and range attack.
Right, yeah, okay. Fair enough.
My main issue is that, like, typically, though, you'll just can't melee for most bosses, right? And, like, I'm fine with, like, a new best in slot, but I don't like how, it gives players an excuse to not do content But then they get bored and they go like, I don't know what to do. Like my one friend who tells me to go kill Iron Man with him, which is fun. But like, there's like a time where like it's, I don't know, maybe it's just my mindset where it's like I feel like it's good to have things accomplished. Usually, if you don't want to do something, it's good to do, even though it's a video game. But like RFD's like not that bad. It's really not that bad.
There's a lot of quests involved. There's a lot that you have to do.
But like questing's, that's when you're trying to get your friend to play RuneScape. But dude, they have quests in the game. Oh, I hated WoW questing. No, dude, it's way different. There's storylines, there's jokes. You're interacting with like the world.
Yeah, you're moving around.
You know, like questing is a big part of like RuneScape itself. And like they are kind of like taking away like a drive to do it. Like if there's no reason to do RFD, no one will ever do it.
Yeah.
Like if you don't get like those barrel gloves made me do it, and I was like, fuck, that was sweet. You know what I mean? Like I really like doing that. It sucked.
Well, these might be super expensive if you want to spend, what is it, 150K on them, on the gloves, instead of spending, say they drop to like 10 mil, 15 mil at some point. Like, you know what I mean? You could leapfrog it with the Bond people, but they can, if you have the money, you can really buy some good gear.
Yeah, and I mean, it's way more often, it's more common than you think.
Yeah.
Like my main thing is like, it's anecdotal, I'm sorry, but like I have a buddy who really didn't want to do RFD, but he wanted to min-max his strength bonus, and he hates questing, and he wanted to AFK at NMZ.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, get these items, this is min-maxing. But then he complained he didn't want to do any questing, and I'm, me being the friend I am, I went and like hooked him up with some gear and got him granite gloves. That was one of the things I got him. Got him like obby legs, just like shit like that, right?
Yeah.
And now he's like, I don't want to do RFD. These granite gloves like are almost as good as bear. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He like refuses to do RFD now, and it's like, I mean, it's your game, but you're gonna like complain that like now like what's, I don't know. It's very anecdotal, but I feel like it's weird having the option to leapfrog like trademark piece. There was a time where Legends Cape was the best in slot cape.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see.
It's just, it leaves these items, these quests, like Legends quests, in a weird place right now, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Anyways, we'll move on to the next one. Wait, sorry. How do you feel about these gloves?
I like the idea of the gloves, but yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing them linked to the quests in some way, but at the same time, I wonder why they don't, whatever. I was going to say, I wonder why they didn't go for like a range glove instead.
Yeah. Yeah.
No strong opinions one way or another, I guess.
All right.
So I guess we'll move on. So when a Hydra Claw is combined with a Zami Hasta, you get the Dragon Hunter Lance. This process cannot be undone, and the Lance requires 70 attack to be equipped. It has an added effect of 20% increased accuracy and damage against dragon creatures, though it loses defensive capability in the creation.
Okay.
Dragon Hunter Lance does not have a spec, and it's replaced with the 20% accuracy and damage against dragon creatures. 85 stab, 65 slash and crush, 70 melee strength, attack rate of 4.
It's interesting to see them still stuck between the 70 and 75 tiers.
Yeah.
They're really afraid to reach for that next one.
Yeah, this kind of makes sense, though, because this will
put people in a weird position, because you have a Hasta and you want to do Corp, switch to a Spear.
Yeah.
Your Hasta you can do a lot of things with, but if you want to, like, kill KBD more efficiently, I guess, and you don't want to range it, you can melee it. Like, it might give this might change how you kill Vorkath.
Yeah, maybe.
Dragon Hunter Crossbow. Blowpipe, this could be more DPS, especially doesn't have a special, right? So you'd still have to want to bring, like, a BGS. But you also lose defensive capabilities. I like this as an item, to be honest. I think it's cool.
I like an idea of having a lance.
Yeah, I like the name. It could look cool as fuck. And I like how they're kind of keeping a Dragon Hunter theme. I'm waiting for a Dragon Hunter staff. It'd be cool. You think it's cool? You like it?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Additional drops. We'll move on to that. So alongside the drops that we just mentioned, you'll have a chance to receive dragon knives and dragon throwing axes from Worms, Drake, Hydras, Alchemical Hydra. The dragon throwing axe would be removed from Chamber of Xerix. Thank you, Jagex. If this gets passed, those 3 items cannot, like, they really shouldn't be on the drop table. It's ridiculous. So, like, if you're soloing for 30 hours on average.
Just filler items.
But like, imagine getting 200k for spending 30 hours doing something.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Anyways, the dragon knives they're tradable and they require 60 range to equip and can be poisoned. They have a special attack, duality, which costs 25% of the special attack energy and causes 2 knives to be thrown at once, each with their own accuracy and damage rolls.
Cool. I can dig it.
Yep, 30 range strength, 28 ranged attack. I think this is sweet. I like a DDS for range.
Yeah.
Like that's so cool.
It's going to bring just another weapon that you can... That's what I love. I would love to see a variety of different weapons being used in PvP. We see that with some.
Yeah.
But it's cool to have more options. You got dragon throwing axe. Now you got the dragon knife. It seems like a lot of these dragon ammunitions or just ranged... I guess ammo. I can't say ranged weapons because, dragon crossbow and stuff isn't used PKing. But a lot of them seem to be geared for PKing, right?
Well, dragon crossbow is used for PKing.
Not so much.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't want to risk 30 mil?
Yeah, I guess. Okay, well. But anyways, you look at the, dragon javelins and dragon arrows. A lot of them, they have a really good spot in PKing.
Yeah.
Versus maybe some other things.
Yeah. And I really do like the idea of like a DDS for ranged.
Yeah.
Like dragon knives. Like, that just sounds like dope. I like that. And then unique bones. There's a new type of bones that they want to introduce. So with the introduction of new creatures, we bring new bones. So worm bones offer 30 experience. Drake offers 60. And Hydra offers 90. Both Hydra and the alchemical Hydra. These bones would work in the usual way with other features like Gilded Altar and Ectofunctus.
Cool.
So, do you have any final thoughts on the whole Brimstone update? Any concerns, questions?
No, I like it, to be honest. It's another place to kill things, Nothing crazy exciting. Like the Slayer, like the Hydra, like the Hydra boss. I'm pretty interested to see what they're going to bring out. Sometimes solo bosses can get super boring. I prefer the option of being able to do it with friends. You know what I mean? Doing it with others is always more enjoyable.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's cool to kind of get that next tier of Slayer monster. And all these items seem... They're good. Although, we're getting close to that 99 Slayer and we're still not getting none of those 80 tier weapons and stuff. But I guess I can see what they're doing. If they pull that in there, people will be like, nope, scrap everything, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it does give them an outlet in the future to add something else. And we see that they're willing to change away how, drop tables with the, raids. They're taking items off of it. So they're willing to kind of do stuff like that, which is good. They need to do that.
Yeah. I like all the suggestions. I think all the items are really cool. The Brimstone ring, my only... question is that when they add this new death mechanic, what RS3 has is a ring of it's like an insurance ring. I forgot what it's called. I mentioned in the past.
Ring of death or something.
and it prevents like death's door type stuff because you have to pay like a percentage of your gear. So you just like, you know, you use onyxes on this ring that like is like a tribrid type ring. You know what I mean? So I feel like if they wanted to add that, then they would do it with the brimstone instead of having to introduce a whole new ring with a new, you know what I mean, mechanic.
Depends on what kind of content they want to come out with too, right? 'Cause sometimes they need to come up with ideas of what they could put on the drop table.
Yep. Like so, like the brimstone, like, it adds potential to like growth, I guess, additions to whatever. My only like concern is that the 75 Slayer or combat requirement to do it. Neve's 85, Durdel's 100, but this guy, though, like he feels meta. He feels like he'll replace Durdel and Neve.
Depends because, well, Neve came after Durdel, right?
Yeah, so
but Duradel doesn't necessarily replace Neve. Lots of people just keep going to Neve anyways because they give generally like more cannibal tasks and stuff, right?
Yeah, Neve does like a lot of those tasks, but Duradel will you get better chance on bosses and all this stuff, right?
Yeah, the end game monsters.
Yeah, but this feels like he only assigns like high. You know what I mean? And he's gated at 75, which is like it puts it in a really weird position where like. You're going to get a lot of shitty monsters and stuff. You're going to be going to this guy I like the idea of going to a specific place, but I don't like how
this guy, he's a 75 combat requirement, and he has all these cool new mechanics, and then you have, like, Neve, go to a cave and cannon, Duradel, burst, and then go kill a boss. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but, like, it's kind of... The
this-
game is coming out with content for the era we're in, you know? We need some more unique Slayer... you know what I mean? You can't bring a Slayer master who's just going to be like, go ahead and kill these things.
Well, like, I like him as a Slayer master. I would have preferred to be a her named Mia, but like if you made it like even like 110 or 105, like it's a high combat level, but the amount of stuff that you unlock, and keep in mind that the major things people are going to be using, like you're going to be at 95 Slayer. There's no one at 95 Slayer at 75 combat that is like you're a pure if you are.
Yeah, that's true. Like maybe they should have a combat level tied with this guy because it does kind of give you another goal. Like, oh, I'm doing Duradel. But at level 115 or 120, I'm gonna start going to this new guy. It'll change things up a bit.
Yeah, like the main thing is that typically people will like do their, if you're like a fish or whatever, you do your first 50 Slayer levels in the wilderness. The best bang for your buck, you get mad points, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then you go grind Neve until Duradel.
Yeah.
But like, it's just that this guy has so many cool mechanics, and like, they all require high Slayer level, which is really cool, but it's gated behind a really low combat level. And like, it's not that like they need to buff Neve and Duradel. It's that like they make the two previous Taskmasters, which were fine. Now they feel kind of boring and like stale.
It is until you get sick of having to kill abyssal demons at like the Slayer Tower, or you're getting sick of having to kill dust devils in the smoke dungeon, right?
Yeah, so my main thing is that this guy, like when this guy comes out, I'm gonna have points saved up to completely once the monster table gets dropped on like the task list weights get dropped, and you can find out what he like will task you in frequency and stuff.
Yeah, percentages.
Yeah, like most people are going to completely optimize their task just for this guy, like you normally, which most people do for Neve or Duradel. If you're trying to be like optimal or efficient, you like optimize what you want or what you don't want to do. Blah blah blah. Blah. You get the point I'm making. But it's just weird that like he's such a low level requirement for like how much new and cool stuff he does. Is it bad that he's 110?
I don't know. It's just the different dynamic, right? Some people will still do Duradel. This guy's not going to replace him.
I don't know. I think he might, depending on how. Yeah.
Well, maybe, you know what I mean. Like maybe he's not going to give you any task to do in the catacombs.
So like
and you're just like, well, I want to do something in the catacombs. I want to get my Skatizo pet.
But if you're at like, I'm just saying like, I'm at 95 Slayer. Well, I'm at like 97 right now. I'm not too worried about leveling up fast. I like to just do tasks I like. This guy seems perfect for me. I just don't want him to ruin the other masters for other players, because like
I don't think he would. I think he would. You know what I mean? He wouldn't ruin. Like no one's tied to like. Oh man, I loved going to Duradel, and now I never see him anymore.
It's just the bonus drops and stuff you're going to be getting, and the untradeable drops that you can get. Like, there's just so much more, and like the high. Anyways,
yeah. Well, we got some more to talk about.
Yeah, we'll move on to aerial fishing, which is the next, I guess, thing they talk about. So aerial fishing is in the middle of Lake Mulch, in a small island home to Nicholas Luchart. Luchart? A peculiar fishing. It's probably some stupid pun. I don't understand. But he's a peculiar fishing person with a very different approach to catching. Nicholas uses birds, specifically cormorants, to catch and return fish and salamanders that take residence in nearby waters. Similar to falconry when training hunter, the player equips a bird on their arm, and when clicking a fishing pool, the bird swoops down and returns the player with the catch. If the player inventory is full, the bird swallows the catch and doesn't reward any experience to the player. You must have both hands free to wield the bird.
Okay, cool.
I like that because it's
different.
You can't auto-click it. You know what I mean? It might be the Artie Knights of Thieving.
Hmm?
You know what I mean? Or fishing, I guess.
But yeah, so catch is guaranteed for each time the bird is sent, and the pools of fish move at a somewhat frequent rate. Around every 7 to 12 seconds, they'll move, and multiple people can catch from the same pool, and we'll see people fishing from all sides of the circular island. If the bird is sent whilst the pool is moving to a new location, it still counts as a successful catch. Kingworms used as a starting bait, which can be gathered on the island when the player starts to catch fish. They can cut the fish up into stackable fish chunks, and the bird will take 1 chunk every 3 to 6 catches as a reward for gathering the fish. There are 4 types of catches in this lake mulch. The bluegill, which you need 43 fishing and 35 hunter to catch. The common tench, 56 fishing, 51 hunter. The mottled eel, I've never been able to say that properly, requires 73 fishing and 68 hunter. The greater siren has 91 fishing and 87 hunter. And mulch pearls, these have a 1 in 150 chance of being fished when on a successful catch, and they are stackable and can be traded with the angler in his pearl shop for various untradeable rewards.
Oh.
Equipable fishing rod,
Whoa.
100 pearls. Equipable fly fishing rod, 120 pearls. And equipable barbarian fishing rod, 150 mulch pearls.
Huh.
Or fish sack,
Okay.
1,000 pearls. You can collect the sacks of fish.
All right.
No, it's like a back piece.
It's like the clue scroll reward.
Yeah.
With fish.
So the golden tench, in addition to your expected catch when fishing with your cormorant, there's a very slim chance that it will return with an extremely rare golden tench. This is a fish that can be equipable in the hand, has no stats, it is not tradable.
Cool. Okay, that's cool. That's cool looking.
Yep.
Cosmetic fish weapon. It's like Maple Story when you get the gray tuna weapon?
Yeah. Or like the fish from WoW.
You can hold them?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like Vanilla WoW and stuff?
I don't remember.
Oh, yeah. You can get like 16-pound catfish that you hold in your offhand. It's just
Oh, yeah, that's right.
yeah. So at 43 fishing, 35 hunter, you should expect to earn 17k fishing, 25k hunter, and 5k cooking experience per hour. You only get the cooking if you cut the fish, but at 99 fishing and hunter, you get 60k fishing, 80k hunter, 15k cooking, if you're cutting the fish. I'm assuming you can't tick manipulate this.
I don't see how I mean, someone might find a way, but I'm sure that they're going to try to avoid that.
Yeah. So it doesn't trump tick manipulating barbarian fish, three ticking it, but it trumps regular barbarian fishing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So depending on your level, like you'll be able to pull more if you're not tick manipulating, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So double check that. And yeah, for the next up, we got a couple more to go for just Karen. Like, Jesus.
Just this one dev blog.
Yeah. Doozy. We have the Karen and Cabos Achievement Diary. So the Karen and Cabos Achievement Diary is a new achievement diary covering the regions of the Great Karen and the Lowlands. It will work in the same way as other diaries, and full completion of this diary will be required for the Diary Cape. So the taskmaster for this diary will be found in the courtyard of the Karen Castle, and a teleport to him will be added to the Diary Cape. So to fully complete, I don't really like how they show all the requirements that you need to complete.
Yeah, true.
But you'll need 25 construction, 30 crafting, 40 fletching, 42 mining, 49 thieving, 50 fire making, 77 rune crafting, 82 fishing, 84 cooking, 85 farming, 90 magic, wood cutting, 95 slayer. I already have these requirements, minus the farming, which I'm pretty close to. But
get on it.
Completing these will grant players various rewards, including Radha's Blessing, which upgrades with each tier. And it's like a blessing that goes in your ammo slot, much like the Unholy, Holy, other ones.
Unholy is a war.
Yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, all those blessings. So, Radha's Blessing, after you complete the easy one, the easy diary, it has no stat bonuses, 3 daily teleports to the Karen woodland, and a 2% catch, 2% chance to catch 2 fish at once. No experience is given for the additional catch. 2.5k experience, halved access cost for Crabclaw Isle, and doubled rate for Zarek's Talisman. The medium diary, you get, with the blessing, you get +1 prayer bonus, and 5 daily teleports to the Karen woodland with a 4% chance to catch 2 fish at once. No experience given for the additional catch. 7.5k experience lamp, free access to Crabclaw Island, 5% chance to mine 2 dense essence blocks at once. 20 dynamite a day from Theris. The rewards from the previous diary. The hard Karen diaries. So the blessing will give a +1 prayer bonus, unlimited teleports to the woodland, and 3 daily teleports to Brimstone. 6% chance to catch 2 fish at once. 15k experience lamp. Ability to combine the Slayer helmet with the Shazian 5 helmet by talking to Captain Cleve. 5% yield from the Hasidius and Farming Guild herb patches. 40 free dynamite. And all the other tier rewards. The Elite Diary. So the blessing will give +2 prayer bonus, unlimited teleports to the woodlands and to the Brimstone, 8% chance on getting double fish, 50,000 experience lamp, 20 Slayer points for completing Slayer tasks at Konar, which is up from 2, 10% burn reduce chance at the city kitchens, up from 5%, 80 free dynamite from Theris, and all the other previous rewards.
Seems pretty good.
Yeah, and you'll get an additional 10% blood runes from rune crafting with no additional experience.
That's big.
That's kind of huge, especially, because I'm like halfway through my rune crafting blood runes grind. That's a perfect announcement. Wow, nice, Jagex. All in all, I think these are some pretty neat rewards. The blood runes, I wonder why they added that. Because for Iron Man, that's a lot of free money. Maybe
the Elite just seemed to lack rewards.
Yeah, I can see that. All in all, I do like these diaries rewards. They don't specify that the fishing bonus is just on Kurend. So it's probably like the Kandarin diaries where it's just how you get the bonus on your bolt specs. I feel like that this will just be a bonus to fishing anywhere.
Yeah, that's
if you like
unless
fishing,
they just forgot to mention, right?
It'd be like,
there's so much information here. I wouldn't be surprised if they also forgot to mention.
But what would you're gonna fly fish, aerial fish?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Oh well, you could fish anglers and stuff.
Yeah, true.
Kind of cool, but I feel like it might be an overall thing, like a passive overall, because 8% is a pretty low chance. But yeah, it's pretty nice. That's pretty much it for the diary. You like them?
Yeah, seem good. Nothing like the blood rune one's pretty good. The small chance to mine 2 dense essence is nice.
Oh yeah, and actually in the mediums they have a 5% chance to mine 2 dense blocks, which you use to do blood runes and soul runes.
Right, yeah. I guess it's confusing because they released 2 blogs and one of them has added information.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does seem like these rewards, they're good, but they're not crazy game changing like some of the other diaries have, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of passive stuff. I guess a little bit boost to the experience per hour for blood runes with the dense blocks, 5% boost. And I guess we'll move on to the Forsaken Tower, I guess.
Oh, this is lore. For thousands of years, the Wintertodt has remained safely sealed behind the doors of Din. Alas, despite the best attempts of the Lovakenge smiths and the Arceus mages, the doors are failing. Only Din himself knew the secrets behind the creation of these doors. Without his knowledge, there may be nothing to stop the Wintertodt escaping and bringing ruin upon Kurend. It is up to you to recover this knowledge.
You're going to need a Din's bulwark. You need 2 of them. You're going to replace the door.
It's an expensive quest.
Yeah. Well, the Forsaken Tower is a brand new novice quest that further develops on the story of the House of Kurend. The quest can be started by speaking to Lady Volcana Lovakenge in the Lovakenge house. Little spoilers, but the requirements you need for the quest is Client of Kurendun, 20% Lovakenge favor. Common theme. The rewards are 1 quest point, 6k coins, 500 mining and smithing, 10% Lovakenge favor. Another quest gives you another teleport to the Lovakenge house with that book.
Alright.
And there is another quest to talk about, the Ascent of Arceus.
A long time ago, the citizens of Arceus House gave up their human bodies and claimed immortality. This event was known as the Ascent of Arceus, and it marked the end of death within the Arceus House, or so they believed. For the first time in 1,000 years, a member of Arceus House has fallen. You will need to solve the mystery of his death. However, time is of the essence, and the fate of Arceus House lies in your hands.
Yep, brand new novice quest. More Kurend lore, and you can start this quest, or it could be started by speaking to Mori in the Arceus house. So you'll need Clan of Corendon, 12 Hunter, 20% Arceus favor.
Because you gotta track down the person, right? You're gonna need some hunter to do that.
And spoilers, again, 1 quest point, 2k coins, 1.5k hunter experience, 500 runecrafting experience,
Oof.
10% Arceus favor, and a teleport to Arceus house as the rewards.
Cool.
Yep, good stuff. Man, that's the first fucking reveal.
Yeah, this is gonna be a long episode, so hang in there.
Yep. All this stuff has been pulled.
Yeah, there's questions linked to every single thing we talked about. We're not gonna go through them. This is like 50 questions. And yeah, every piece of content that we talked about will be pulled with a question, should we have it.
Yep.
All right, so now that we're done with that first devblog, I think we might have to do something we haven't done before. We might have to split this up to a 2-part episode.
Yeah.
It's a pretty long one, and it's going to take a while to edit through, but this way we could release this half, and then maybe the next day the next one can come out.
Yeah.
So you guys are just going to get a couple episodes close together. Just due to the circumstances, it was just a crazy week. So yeah, we're going to skip over lore this week, though, because of the week. And we'll just go over to the Grand Exchange real quick.
Yeah.
Quick stroll, real quick. So, as we've been mentioning for the past couple episodes, we have an Audible opportunity.
Trial.
audibletrial.com/wild. If you're interested in getting an audiobook, you can try it there. You get a free month and you get a free book. audibletrial.com/wild. And if you would like to support the show, you can do that at patreon.com/thewildernesspodcast. Our Patreon supporter of the week is Ren Geyser. So thank you very much for your support. We very much appreciate it. But we've also got 2 new members joining the Patreon crew. That is Martin Hogseth and Beer Daddy. So thank you very much for jumping in with the Wild Boys and Gals crew. But I guess everybody's a wild boy and gal, right? Mm-hmm. Thank you, you two, for supporting. Thank you, Ren Geyser, for supporting. But also thank you, everyone else, for supporting and everyone for listening. We got a few things going on with the show. Bhooleys is having his blacksmith giveaway. He's made an awesome dragon longsword. And he will be doing a raffle on the 20th of October. Get in contact with him to figure out details on how you can enter. We're also going to be having a Snowball event where Bhooleys may be giving an additional reward with it on the same day. So keep your eyes and ears about that. Check Discord and Twitter and all that stuff and get in contact with him if you're interested in it. We also teased last week about a Connect 4 tournament where we will be opening up the signups. We haven't figured out a date yet, but we're thinking in November, probably the second week, maybe first or second week. But more information on that as we figure it out. Just keep your eyes out on the Discord if you're interested in joining that. There will be cash giveaways or bond giveaways. So if you're an Iron Man, you can take part in it. And yeah, those are the 2 cool things we got going on right now. If you want to get in contact with us in game, it's WildCC. If you want to check out our Twitter, it's at @TheWildernessRS. If you want to see our Facebook, it's facebook.com/TheWildernessPodcast. You can also join our Facebook group, which is on the page. Our email is thewildernesspodcast@gmail.com. And we have a Discord pinned on both Facebook and Twitter. Deegan, you got your stuff?
Yeah, Twitch and Twitter, DeeganRS.
Perfect. Our song of the week was sent by Fork Knife for Life. And he says, worked on a golf course, and one of my favorite songs to listen to while working was the song Fishing. So thank you for your song request. Thanks for hanging in there, but there is still more to go through. So do check out part 2 of episode 5, where we will finish off with this stuff. And I guess sorry for the weird format this week.
Yeah.
It happens once in a while, I suppose. But before we get out of here, we have to quickly tell you about the music track. Fishing is a music track that is unlocked in Catherberry. Ooh, and we got an analysis. It focuses on a slow and steady piano melody that continues throughout the song and also uses a guitar, flute, and organ. A unique feature is the sound of washing waves that play in the beginning of the song, which fittingly makes the song mimic the sound of a calm beachside. It was composed by Ian Taylor. hope this new wiki gets these song analysis.
Yeah.
If only. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Until part 2.
Yeah. Later this week.
Yeah. Take care, guys.
Peace. Have a good one.